We wanna get it funk in the club, funk in the club, with a funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, with a get it funk with a couple hundred thugs. Funk in the club, funk in the club, with a funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, with a get it funk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here, everybody round, everybody round here, know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here, know we getting hype. We wanna get it funk in the club, funk in the club, with a funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, with a get it funk with a couple hundred thugs. Funk in the club, funk in the club, with a funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, with a get it funk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here, everybody round, everybody round here, know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here, know we getting hype. Get money. Let's get the get money. Let's get the
It's been a whole 3 days now for the VCT Game Changers APAC Series 2023, and it's really exciting. Hi, Tash Bunny here alongside Donut. We are your panelists today, and I am super excited to be here with Donut because it's been a while. Usually, me and her, we're on the casting desk, but now we are the ones who will be on your desk today. So, Donut, before we start, what do you think of the past 3 days so far? Well, 2 days rather.
Yeah, the 2 days they've been so amazing. I mean, we've seen a lot of unconventional selections from Team SMG for their composition, and apparently yesterday it was revealed that it was their coach really defining everything else. I thought it was the players themselves, but the coach had a lot to do with their selections. But of course, right, some of the teams here, at least 6 out of the 8 teams who qualified for the playoffs, were the same teams from Open One. But a lot has changed ever since Open One, and Open Two is such a tournament to unpack, especially with the changes that happened. The only thing constant, at least, is Team SMG doing SMG things each and every single day.
I wouldn't really say it's constant from them because they did have some new signings to the team, and one of them being one of the best players here in the Asia Pacific, at least, which is Aneri. Now, coming back to what we thought about today, I mean, when we talk about all these teams, we are even seeing, while these teams are teams that we've seen from Open One, even from last year, there are some new signings to the team, and some of them are brand new players, and one of them is RKNY. Despite that, I'm really seeing that these girls, they're really coming into this new open with a brand new mindset and a brand new team style of play, as well a brand new sort of, I would say, team, not teamwork, but teamwork as well as, what's the word to say it? How do we define this? A brand new passion
Yeah,
for anything. But for
definitely.
those who are just tuning in, here is some of the things that you need to know about the VCT Game Changers APAC Series Open 2. So if you guys didn't know that this particular series format starts from Open number 1, where we have a $10,000 prize pool, and now where we are currently on the Open 2 from groups, which will be happening from May 30th to June 3rd, and now we're at playoffs from June 6th to June number 10th.
Yeah, there's a lot to really undergo, right? I think there were some questions in the chat, in the comments, like, why do we have to go through the opens? Well, the reason why is because the league ever so changes, the scene changes together with it, right? And
Mhm.
given all of these opens, it's a time to test and to learn, to see really what the scene and the landscape really is for the players, and then prepare themselves for LCQ and, of course, the last stage, which is Elite. But I'm happy to see a lot of registered teams for stage 1 open 2. We had a total of 68 teams, Tash, for this open.
And you know what's really exciting? Because I mean, when Quack was telling us from before VCT Game Changers is called VCT Game Changers, we didn't have a lot of teams. There used to be very little teams. Maybe we'll have 16 at max. But now we've come to this point where we have over 60 teams signing up, and I can only imagine it getting bigger from now on. So the playoffs had happened. Sorry, not playoffs. Sorry, the qualifiers had happened, and now we're down to the playoffs. And these are all the teams that have come through. While not a lot has changed in terms of the household names, we do have some brand new teams, which is, I know, Point of Authority Blossom. We have teams like the Hero KDA, but players, however, especially in the Hero KDA, are players who have already played here in the Game Changers since, I don't know, last year, even before that.
Yeah, an example of that would be Snooki, right?
Mm-hmm.
She used to represent the team X Team Bo, wherein they wanted to really qualify for LCQ. They gave other teams a
A run for
really
their
tough
money.
time, right? But unfortunately, they had to face the team of Sapphire, and that's when they fell to their demise. But at least in Open 1 and Open 2, Hero KDA went against OGX as well, which is something that we will be seeing for today. And I'm interested to see how they will see each other. I mean, how they will go against each other, given that there will be a prize pool, such a big prize pool for Open 2.
So the prize pool is still $10,000, where the first place winner will be going home with $3,500. Now, I think for a lot of these girls, prize money is just a bonus. Most of them want to get to go forward. I mean, if you saw last year, it was the Sapphire team previously under X10, now Full Sun Sapphire. They were the ones to go all the way to Berlin. And for these girls who have been training their whole lives, that is where they want to head to the global stages. While we did see that that the Asia Pacific scene was a little bit kind of like lagging behind the other teams, but you can tell that from the way they are playing this open, they had learned a lot in that, I would say, in Berlin last year. But enough about that. Let's talk about the brackets, because yesterday we saw SMG versus GE, we saw OGX FSS, OGX THK was happening today alongside GE versus RRQ, and then on the upper brackets we're going to be seeing SMG versus FSS. And honestly, I'm not surprised at this outcome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really surprised. A good run for SMG, and they haven't really dropped a single map just yet for this year. And probably match 11, the second match that we will be seeing for this stream is gonna be either a make or break for Team SMG. Will they lose their streak, or will there be something new that Full Sense Sapphire has to offer? But I want to really talk about OGX and THK since they have met in the same Open, at least previously during the Swiss stage, right? And
Yes.
OGX really defeated THK. And then I think this is going to be a redemption match for the hero KDA at this point, given that Hannah and both Aisling are very experienced players.
Yeah, and when you talk about Hannah and Ashling, I think we did see them kind of like going head to head on Twitter, where Hannah, I think her biggest goal right now is to be able to overcome Orangutan X. And I think that's a very, very, I wouldn't say a tall mountain to climb, but it is very ambitious. Now, it will be a very big statement because Orangutan X, they are a team that is not only a team that has come together for a long time, they've played together for quite some time now, unless, of course, there are some additions to the team, but the core still remains the same. And personally, for me, this I just want to ask you, what do you think of the roster changes so far for Orangutan X?
I mean, Aruma is going to be a great addition to the team, right? I mean, she had a lot of good things to show when she was part of Big Sight, and I think it's either a big loss for Big Sight and a big change for OGX, especially if I had anybody else that I have my eyes set out for in terms of player to beat, that would be her because her being the sentinel and being the anchor of each of the site, she's impenetrable as a killjoy and a cipher.
Okay, for now, let's talk about going into a break first. When we come back, let's talk a little bit more about the roster and what they can bring to the table today. So don't go anywhere.
So hard to see the light when the weight of the world is mine. But oh, no, I will not resign, and I'm biting my tongue. No, I ain't gonna run. This is the battle I choose, and I'm gonna win. I ain't gonna lose. Sticks and stones won't break my bones. As long as I am breathing, yeah, I will stand tall. Take me down, shut me out. You ain't never, ever gonna see me bow. I'll do anything to prove you wrong. As long as I am breathing, yeah, I still stand tall. See me stumble, see me fall. You ain't never, ever gonna see me crawl. You can try and shoot me with your lies. You can try and cut me with your sharpened eyes. Like the dust and like the tide. Still I rise. Ain't nobody who will ever bring me down. Ain't nobody who can take away my crown. Like the dust and like the tide. Still I rise.
Sorry about that. Always a technical difficulty when we're doing on air, but let's take it back one more time. Welcome everyone to the VCT Game Changers APAC Series 2023. Tash Bunny here alongside Donut, and we are your incredible duo today on the desk. Now, for our first series today is going to be really exciting. Orangutan X versus the hero KDA. Now, we've seen these two play. These are clearly not their first time coming together here, matching up. We know that Hannah one of her biggest things that she wants to do is to take down Orangutan X, and this is going to be a very exciting one. But coming back to what we were talking about earlier, Donut, we were talking about Orangutan X's roster change, but let's talk about the roster that is on the Hero KDA side.
Yeah, there's really a lot to take a look at here for Hero KDA. We have two Filipinos who have had some experience playing together, right? And so it's going to be Hannah and Iceling. Both of them are flexible players. Hannah has really transcended from being a controller to now the initiator for the team, and she's doing really great wonders here. But Iceling, always, she's really been good at being the anchor for the team, not just really a role anchor, but really more of that brain power for the team. So I guess that duo here is going to be really a big impact for this specific matchup. But then at the same time, there's still a lot to learn from RKNY, right? You mentioned that she's quite new to the team. When I took a look at her VLR profile, she had nothing on her, but she's really performing so well.
She is really good. The way she plays, the way she communicates, her clutch moments have been phenomenal. In my opinion, it looks as though she had been very experienced in playing in the pro scene, given the fact of how she communicates and moves with her teammates. I think she and Hannah have something good going on. If you see the buddy system, especially if you saw them play Ascent on day number 1, you saw Hannah holding near logs Ascent B. And then after that, you saw RKNY holding on B main. As soon as someone came out, you saw the swing out, or at least the first hit will be coming in from RKNY, and Hannah will answer back for that second trade. And I think it's such an impenetrable, I would say, fortress in terms of their post plant or even hold on the site itself, because it shows how much they have in terms of communication as well as understanding each other's playstyle and body languages. And because I'm just really curious, because I don't think I've seen this team in open number 1. So it means that they must have just come together, but the way they play has just been so clean. Now coming back to Orangutan X one more time, I don't think we've spoken a bit about their team play and chemistry. After all, we still already have 2 more players in. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of chemistry, right, we do have the core of Orangutan X, but the new addition to the team is something to really behold, because Aruma, as I mentioned, right, I think she's really the player to really watch out for, given her the way that she plays her Sentinel is quite different from how the anchorship of Iceling would be. If there would be a head-to-head, I would really compare the two of them, because Iruma, when it comes to the clutch situations, she always at least delivers the final blow. And I think a new addition would be Emmy as well. She is new to Game Changers APAC, but she is very experienced. She has a good experience and good history with her time in New Zealand, and I'm really excited to really feature her here in Game Changers APAC.
I'm more curious as well about like how they are in general. Now with Twirly coming in as the main duelist, do you think that she has been giving that 100% fire that we expect in terms of a very bombastic start into the game?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to say about how Twirly really gives out her playstyle as a duelist, right? Sometimes she can be very explosive, but sometimes she can be her demeanor changes when there would be like an opponent like Full Send Sapphire. But as we're looking at the lineup, Emmy wouldn't really be playing. Her main 5 is going to be Chloe and Twirly instead.
I'm really excited about this because I thought that Chloe had been moving to sub. I was waiting for her for a little while and she said that she wasn't playing, but I guess, surprise, she pulled a prank on me. So I'm really excited because honestly, I think that Chloe is such a flexible player. She's been in Orangutan for quite some time now, since last year, if I'm not mistaken. And I think coming into the team, she has provided a lot in terms of her hold as well as an anchor. But coming into the Hero KDA, now this is where things get very interesting, right? Because Osnoki and Olulu have been playing together in Team X Team Bo previously last year, and I think it was LCQ or overtime, I do not remember, but these two have been a very great dynamic duo coming into the team, number 1, and number 2, their performance at X Team Bo was phenomenal. And honestly, I'm just gonna be real here, when I first saw Hero KDA coming into this game or this open, I was a bit worried because I thought to myself, I haven't seen their dynamics yet. I don't know, I only know about them individually, but I don't know about them, I would say, chemistry wise, how they play together. But despite the short amount of time they had played, I am thoroughly impressed, and they look to be a very formidable team.
Yeah, I think there would be some connections between Hannah and Iceland playing together, and then as well as Lulu and Snooki having that experience as team members before. Really, the X factor would be RKNY because you mentioned a play when they were in Ascent, and it's as if that they played Open One together, which they didn't at
Yeah.
all. RKNY is a new. Basically, this is an experienced team
This is her
individually, but
debut.
as a
Yeah.
team, they haven't really found that link together. Well, we have yet to see for this match.
I'm really excited to see what exactly they have in mind, but we're gonna be looking at what the maps are going to be, and it's looking to be Split, Fracture, and Ascent. Now we already know that all these maps, I think that Orangutan yesterday they did manage to take one map away from Full Sense, and I believe that was Heaven, and Heaven has been already banned. So I do not blame them for doing that. Sorry, was the other way around? It was the other way around, wasn't it? Yes, it was. Correct. Orangutan took one map away from Full Sense Sapphire, and because of that, I think THK decides to ban that, because honestly, I wouldn't want to go against that.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to OGX and their experience in Haven, I think Japips also really favors this map. When it comes down to her being the initiator, right? It's all about the timing of her utility. And in Haven, she seems to have perfected that. Although her KDA isn't, or her ACS isn't as high, but if you take a look at the stats, right, and how she plays within the game, it's as if she's already memorized the whole blueprint of Haven. And maybe that's one of the reasons why they choose to ban Haven, only because of their performance against Full Sense Sapphire, and also they don't really want to deal with that anymore. They want to be able to explore in different maps because Split has just returned. Open One, we didn't have Split, and this time is when they have to show us what they've got, because at least with how the hero KDA plays, they are more exploratory when it comes to choosing the double duelist setup. So I can expect that a little bit here in our first map.
I mean, if you look at stats here for Orangutan, the last time they actually played on Split was against the Hero KDA themselves, and they won 13-6. What a landslide! And I'm worried. Honestly, when you think stats, you think, oh, they're gonna lose again because they've lost against them before. But I think that when you play against this team and you're going on a round 2, there are a lot of things you can learn from your mistakes, and going against them again in such a short amount of time will give the upper hand advantage to the Hero KDA. Now, my question stands for Orangutan X is, did you guys manage to create a new counter strat? Did you guys try to create something new in your playbook? Like, yes, maybe perhaps what you did in the previous weeks, the last time you went with them, might be working, but what are your next few pages if you do get out-stratted here? Because I've seen way too many games where even though people are saying, okay, just get 4 in attack and then we'll just thrive on defense, but there are just so many games that I've seen now where teams thrive on attack, and it's honestly surprising given the fact that the map is just so defender-sided.
Yeah, I think there is a lot to say here about the composition of the team of OGX, or at least the performance of the controller. I think when it comes to Split, right, it's all about the timing of the smokes with how you use the utility, because if you're an Omen, you're only left with 2 dark covers at least for the first few seconds of the round, and then it refreshes. But even as the Astra, right, when it comes to how Casper plays the Astra, she's so phenomenal. All of her gravity wells and her Nova pulses would hit them right smack in their faces, and I am just really looking forward to either reviving that. Yes, I said so.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
Astra is gonna be selected, and Aruma goes for the Cypher.
I am excited for this one because we have another comp here of a team that does not use sentinels. Now, the idea of not using sentinels here is to take up space and deny them that space entirely by playing as aggressively as you can. Sorry, we are seeing sentinel. I just didn't realize that Aruma actually just picked up that Cypher. Now, it's going to be battle of the Cyphers. Oh, Cypher and Killjoy. Personally, for me, I prefer Killjoy. I prefer what the alarm bots can do. It covers a lot more space. But a Cypher, though, I think the flexibility as well as the hard hold that a Cypher can bring to a site might state a whole different story. Regardless, I'm really curious to see what exactly is coming to the table here, because before this we saw Chloe on the Killjoy all the time. She was your designated Killjoy, and now she's gonna be playing the Reyna. Regardless, we are going to be going into our first game of the day, Orangutan versus the Hero KDA. Let's throw it to our casters. Take it away, ladies.
Yes, always technical difficulties every single day, but it's okay because we have an amazing game coming up. It is split, map number 1 between these two teams. And you know, the thing that Tash brought up, I really like that she brought up that they have like a prior history. But this is a team, Orangutan, they've gone through kind of roster shuffles. It is good to see Chloe back though, I gotta say.
I mean, you got that double innie setup. You got that double duelist setup on the other side. So when it comes to split, you just never know from the attacker's side, from the defenders as well. If you just think about it as well, who and what composition can actually make it better here in a map like Split? For you, in personal opinion right now, Zach, is it double innie or is it gonna be the double duel?
Look, I'm just a fan of the double duelist just because of how Paper Rex plays it. I'm not saying that every team plays it like Paper Rex, but whenever I see double duelist, I get super excited about it just for that reason. I think that Split is a map in particular that even with the changes that came in a couple of patches ago, it's a map that most teams really struggle to attack on and take space on. And while double initiator is useful for setting your single duelist up, I feel like if you just have that double duelist dynamic, if you're really good at coordinating together, like how, for example, Forsaken and Jing do, or well, these days something and Jing do, I think that kind of chemistry is just enough for you to like power through, punch through, and just get inside.
Not other than that, they have that setup from Erase anyway. So as a duelist, for example, you have that explosiveness that you can still bring to the table with the help of that double innie setup that you can take and really look for the fights. That's the problem here, especially for the side of the double duelist setup like Orangutan X. Like, you have that enough firepower. Again, it really depends on the synergy of the team and if they can make it work. But heading into our pistol round here, Zach, we are looking at OGX on the defense.
Yeah, they're gonna be just holding down the fort. You do see 3 players stacked up towards mid, perhaps expecting that pressure to be coming through from the side of the hero KDA, but instead it just seems to be mostly B main push. They do have one player kind of lurking around mid, watching for that push, and you can already see the aggression coming out of the OG squad towards mid. Casper, of course, the only anchor on this B side. Yeah, it does have some backup from Japeep, though. 1-for-1 trades coming so far, and the numbers are pretty even.
Yep, quick trades back and forth for the rest of the teams, but Casper already in a good spot here. Good repositioning coming in from her, and Aruma from behind will finish everything off. OGX secures this round 1. I mean, Casper was just waiting there patiently at that point, Zach, waiting for that perfect moment to actually kill the heads off.
Look, I gotta say, Casper is one of the best players I've seen, and her improvement has just been phenomenal over the enemy last year. Her aim is just
one enemy remaining.
Ryzen waits to move her utility. Not only as an Astra does she get the smokes down, she also gets the kills, and that's exactly what you want out of your controller player, and Casper delivers every single game.
And the setup was great anyway. You have that smoke actually there to really displace the enemy and go for those angle isolation plays, and they managed to pull it off, especially with the help of Aruma coming over from heaven. But it's another brand new round that we have here. OGX, they're playing a little bit slower on the end here of THK as well, knowing that they don't have the power really when it comes to the guns, holding on to the classics. They want to try to make a setup happen here and make the pistol round work.
Yeah, they're probably just waiting for a bit of aggression coming out of OGX. You did see that mid push coming in last time around, but this time with that better weapon, the OG are kind of happier to take these range fights that work in their favor. And with the team comp that they're running, right, they have, despite that double duelist, they just have so much utility, especially with that Astra. You can just delay so much. All of this bait towards B, it's not quite been taken. There is going to be some presence onto A, and that's going to be first split coming in for OG again as RKNY on the lurk just goes down.
They try to play around, especially when it comes to the smokes coming in from OGX. Aruma exactly knows what's happening on the side, but she's waiting for the rotation of a majority of the players here. Anyway, they want to go for that manpower, especially they have the guns. Casper already shuts down one here. It's a 5v3 situation, and 3 people actually trying to punish also players coming in from heaven. But that's Japeeps closing things off with a classic. The last shot to the head, and a clean 2-0 for OGX. 1 man down only.
Yeah, only Casper goes down there, but honestly, it's not that bad. I think that her Spectre is gonna be something that she can replace, and honestly, Casper with the Ghost is pretty scary. Almost as scary as her with the Spectre anyway, so I don't think it's too much of a loss. It's the bonus round for OG anyway, and this is where things get scary, right? The Hero KDA, they're gonna have their buy coming in. kind of been charging up those ultimates, especially I have my eyes on those Seekers coming out of Alulu. Only 2 away. They might come into play in this round, but overall, OGX, they're just looking to be so strong here. I'm just looking at that Pestle and that anti-eco. They're just there for the trades. Their synergy, they have been really working on it since that open one, and especially with their new players, they're looking almost flawless.
You have the double ini anyway. You can set up quite well, especially here on the attacker with the fault line coming in and even maybe a pain shells to really displace enemies that you want to displace when it comes to the backside of a site, for example. But still depends on what play they actually want to show against OGX here, as they are really just patiently waiting for the entries to come in. They know they have traps set already all the way to, for example, towards the ropes, towards vents, and even up above in B towards male. So they would know for sure if there are going to be enemies. And it seems like THK, they want to go for an entry here.
Haven't quite found anything, and if you look at the positions that OJ is playing in, it's a lot of these really tight angles and corners. There's only so much that you can do. Aruma spots that first player, takes the shot, gives away her position, and is not even able to find one. As Snowkey with the satchels is just able to not only find space, but also the kills. Already 3 entries coming in for THK here, and OG, they're going to be in a very awkward retake attempt at this point. Their best hope is to make it as expensive as possible.
Yep.
And knowing that, just the positioning being held by the hero KDA, it's going to make that very, very difficult.
Keeping up that guiding light, no one really to find here, but Chloe, they wanted to gauge upon especially that Trailblazer, but this pain shells, you know what? I'm gonna help you out, at least make it a little better for OGX right now. Chloe goes out, she managed to pull out 1 kill here, a dismiss away, and now trying to look for another, but that's gonna be Iceling way up above, trying to pinpoint where the enemies might be. This is a triangle formation, and at this point, Zach, it's very difficult to actually defuse the spike with the time being placed.
Yeah, though you did see some players going down, some kills coming in for OG. Really, really good bonus for them, by the way. It's still going to be the round coming in for THK, and I think that at least the last 2 players, they were disciplined enough to just play for time and make sure that they can hold on to those rifles. But look at the economy. It's in such a weird spot for the hero KDA. They do have a couple of these ultimates that are pretty close, but so do OGX, right? They're one off the Seekers, one off that Cosmic Divide, which is super good in that retake kind of scenario. And honestly, I was skeptical about the Reyna, but Chloe is doing work.
I mean, you have an agent where you can sometimes be selfish, you know, especially when you have a dismiss ready anyway, and you're confident enough for the wide swing or even the push coming in from Arena. It can still shock a lot of teams, and maybe that's what they're gauging on, especially the Trailblazer didn't really work out in their favor because of that swarm that was on city side. But anyway, 2-1 again, like you said, it was still not bad of a bonus for OGX.
Yeah, 3 weapons is still pretty huge, and even though it's gonna be a buy coming in for the side of THK, you see some light armor. You also do see that Bulldog for RKNY, so a little bit less of a proper buy here for them. And again, just mid control, right? It's so pivotal on a map like Split, and you can see how both of these teams are happy just trading down utility. The thing is that this works in OG's favor, because not only do they maintain control of mid, they also manage to bait out so much utility and gain information off the back of that from their opponents.
True, even the turret was already pinned down here, but look at it, it's gonna be a fast entry coming in from THK, but completely stopped by Aruma yet again. Hana on the other side will try to go for a kill. It's still a 4v3 situation here, especially with the smokes up. You can definitely see that the traps of Aruma hasn't been used up yet even.
Oh, and look at Casper's positioning here. Already so ready for her. 20 seconds left. Know that they're going to be coming into her. I think does get caught out a little bit by the flash, but still being able to have some high impact. All she really has to do is buy time here, and with the spike dropped in heaven, it's going to make things so much difficult. Already the chase is on. Iceling able to get these kills. It's a 1v1, but there's no time on the clock, and Twirly wins just by staying alive. What a beautiful round from OG. Sure, they lost almost everybody, but Twirly, you play hide and seek, and if you hide long enough, you still win. And Twirly does it.
Again, very impactful kills coming in from Casper. The thing is, she did this already during day number 1. You wouldn't see Casper over rotating or hyper rotating to the other sides. Instead, She is actually one of the anchors that would stay. And you have to be really careful because it's a little bit of a poisonous move towards that side, knowing that there is 20 seconds left for THK to actually make a plant happen. OGX, they know their advantage. They're making their way up to it. And not only that, they're utilizing each and every part of this map.
Yeah, they're just playing it a bit of a heat around for the side of the hero
Right
KDA here. Chloe already in that
They know
close
it's
range.
a shotgun.
Yeah, just pulling that running gun. I think that they know it's a shorty, but nevertheless, it is going to be the trades coming through once again in favor of OGX. It's just Chloe running Farming Simulator right now. 4 kills on the round already, but the ace is going to be denied. You know, there's always something about your teammates stealing that 5th kill that it's just heartbreaking. Like, I'm on the ace track. I have 4 kills. Let me get the ace. And they're just like, you know what?
At this point, I'm used to it, especially playing with Dax back in Du and Ralph. You just cannot, you know, Zach. At this point, I'm used to it. But like you said, Chloe, though, she knew exactly the advantage she had. She knows she can dismiss away. Not only that, she knows it's gonna be a shorty. And how many shots can you make into a shorty? Only 2. Once you reload, you gotta expect Chloe to push in. And she managed to pull off 4 of the kills out there from THK's side and still winning again for this round despite losing majority of the players for Orangutan. And as you can see, even on the economy, it definitely shows the rounds are still important, especially here in a map like Split.
Definitely. It goes so back and forth here, but I like this timeout coming out of the hero KDA because number one, they're gonna have a buy again. More than that, they have been really just stacking these ultimates together. They have 4 out of 5, only 2 off that Rolling Thunder as well. So very likely we can see an execute coming in off the back of that. They have Snow's showstoppers to be able to find a couple of kills, get that space for free. They also do have that lockdown to be able to just pioneer their way to site and to prevent that retake, the Cosmic Divide as well. Ideally, they'll be able to kind of stagger these ults, make sure that they save a couple for the next round. But worst comes to worst, they have them. All they have to do is stay alive to use them. And against OG, I think it could be a bit challenging.
Yep. We play around the time here anyway. A little challenging, I would say. But again, this is the brackets moving forward. It just gets harder and harder every match that you play here in Open 2. And looking at THK right now, again, playing a little slow, but you can see definitely that they have control over mid here, and they can actually punish the players. But look at that, Chloe again with the quick trades.
Yeah, being able to find that kill is huge. Seeker's giving away Aruma's position right now. They know that there's at least 2 more players towards this A side here, and Aruma has to be very, very careful about how she's going to be playing this. Chloe alone on site as well. Does have some backup from Sky here. Has to be very, very careful. The Emperor's now active for Chloe. Dodges the showstopper. Gets yet another kill here. Finally being shut down by Snow. That's gonna be huge. Things, again, back to a 2v2. Both players on the Orangutan. Only Snow alive against them. Does isolate the 1v1. Finds the kill here. Casper, again, just with better positioning, reading them like a book. It is going to be the 5th round for Orangutan. And what a round it was.
THK knows how to actually make an entry happen. You know, they actually take control of the site, even on the host plant itself. But then again, you have surprising factors coming in, like the rotations coming in from Casper, for example. They weren't able to actually capitalize, especially on those choke points, chokeholds that they were able to get, knowing that screens was already taken by OGX, knowing that OGX already took ramps at that point. The world just got smaller for the side of THK. But look at this, playing around those utilities will be at their advantage, especially in an eco like this.
Yeah, they're just trying to hold. They're just hoping for Orangutan to make a mistake here, maybe get a couple of rifles for themselves. And despite this kind of aggression coming out of OG towards mid, just the smokes, the nebulas out of Casper, they're doing enough to really buy time here. On the opposite side though, RKNY already having walked into B main, huge positioning, does have that lockdown to invest, but I don't think they know that she's already towards this backside area.
That's why she's a little doubtful to use that lockdown. They don't know that she's here, and she might actually catch Casper here. Just going through patiently. You know, trigger discipline is the key. Information is the key.
Oh, they get another kill as well. Hannah with the Stinger capitalizing and being able to get that kill, but Chloe once again there for the refrag 2v4 scenario right now. Numbers advantage hugely in the favor of THK. They also did invest that lockdown already, but they only have 2 rifles to work with. They at least did manage to pick up the one strong. So if Aruma can get a kill, it's going to be the Neuro that's available. Chloe, of course, finding that first kill. Aruma as well. Suddenly things look much more difficult. One enemy scenario. So only with the Sheriff, that's all she needs though. Already able to find the first, sorry. One enemy remaining. 1v2. Isolates the first one. Does find that kill. But now, Snow's position is unaware. Ruma does have that expectation, but Snow with the Sheriff, a 3k on the round and a Thrifty to boot. The Hero KDA, they're not giving up quite yet.
Managed to save the day. Again, on an eco disadvantage here was THK. But if you play around those utilities, the power of a Pain Shell and even a Gravity Well put together, you can definitely get kills away from that. Knowing that it was, and again, an eco disadvantage here, playing around the utilities, even that neural death coming in from Cypher, they still managed to pull off those essential kills. Again, the epitome of this stake started from RKNY really holding that trigger towards Casper.
I got the spot. Just be able to kind of sneak up, Pink Panther style, get in that back of the site and hold with that patience that you expect. It was really good, and that was some good calling as well. I think that it's Hannah who's the shot caller for this team. I'm not quite sure, but really good call to just invest those ultimates, even though they didn't quite have the weaponry, and the space they got off the back of that was absolutely invaluable. Talking about space right now, though, once again, it's going to be a headlong charge through mid here. Already being able to make their way onto site, and Olulu towards main able to just find those 2 kills. This is kind of a half-buy round for Orangutan. Not much that they have to work with, accepting that one Vandal in Chloe's hands, and despite all of their wins, it's just amazing how they're struggling with economy here.
We still end up in a 1v2 situation or a 1v1 at some point, at some degree, that even OGX was getting those rounds in. The economy is just completely shattered. Peeps goes for that guiding light. We know there's gonna be someone on hell, but good anticipation coming in from THK. It seems like so far, with how the rounds are going here, Zach, it just gets cleaner and cleaner, especially on the post plants.
Yeah, I think that timeout that the Hero KD had really woke something up in them, because their positioning has been incredibly pivotal. And more than that, I think that just Snow kind of activating in those last 2 rounds, it's just been phenomenal. You saw like the reads coming out. OG, they've been fighting for mid control all this time, but because of how that last round played out, they were kind of gearing towards site instead, and the read for Snow was just perfect. She was able to take up all that mid space for free, basically, and now it's going to be Orangutan's turn to call a timeout. And it's a testament, Taylor, to how close these rounds are going. Because even though Orangutan had like almost 5 wins in a row, their economy was still in shambles in that last round after just 1 loss. And that's because every single time it comes down to like a 1v1 or a 1v2, and it's just so incredibly close.
True, we're talking about it already anyway. And it seems like, of course, for OGX, the gauging for this is for Chloe to obviously get the initial pickoffs, maybe even a dismiss away, and the rest of the team comes by and actually helps her out. But the thing is, if you shut down Chloe immediately here, there is a certain factor for THK, and we can see that all of us can actually see that despite the advantage that the defense has here, there's still some loopholes. Like, they can go into a site without even anyone from OGX actually knowing.
It's just been very sneaky coming out of them. Huge lurks from RKNY in particular, but overall their coordination over these last few days has significantly improved, I gotta say. And now once again, see that change of pace coming out. The last 2 rounds they've been very aggressive from the Hero KDA, but now they're just kind of playing it patient instead. They know that Twirly has that showstopper, might be tempted to push up with it, and off the back of that, they're just trying to like take it a little bit slow. But OG, they have their number. This time around, they're playing a little bit more carefully, much more slowly.
1 fault line out, and the answer is 2 utility play coming in from OGX. And immediately, you know, you shut down those utilities, shut down the cameras, shut down the line traps, or even since THK is playing majority on a play for contact scenario, they find a loophole. They manage to take a space here. The problem remains is how are they gonna hold again onto that post plant they want to continue holding on to. OGX, they can feel there's some certain loopholes pulse here, and the showstopper perfectly connecting yet again, but a showstopper back to answer. That's gonna be Twirly going for the second, and she managed to pull it off with a quick trade to Hannah.
30 seconds left.
3 right now. Once again, the Hero KDA do have that
Spike
numbers
planted.
advantage.
Last player standing.
But again, Casper will have to be able to find Wembo, and Aruma is going to be forced to take on that 1v2. Hannah, though, more than ready for it, finds not 1 kills and ends the round with a massive, huge number. Almost only 1 away from that Rolling Thunder. Sorry, 2 away from that Rolling Thunder. So once again, the Hero KDA kind of they took the timeout, and they are back on fire right now.
Spike
Like
planted.
they said, just play around your advantages, and they know that they destroyed traps here. They know they don't have the cameras anymore. They know the positioning of the respective OGX players because they have certain engagement where they just really try to get that intel in. And so far, THK is doing wonderful in minimizing the effects that OGX is having right now. And again, shutting down Chloe is one thing, and the other is actually making that decision happen and making it work. Look at this. Aruma knows exactly there's gonna be people coming in from male here. Not exactly how many though. She has to come back as there are gonna be lots of utilities coming in as well.
Again, you just see this. This is like the 3rd round that I think THK are doing this. They just go for this crunch towards B main from mid, and
Spike
the 4 players
planted.
towards B main, they just get punished time and time again. And there's just no counter to it exactly. This time it's going to be Casper paying the price here. 4 players for OGX, all of them with not ideal weapons to say the least, though at least Shirley and Chloe, the duelists do have some kind of great power. Tucked away in the corner. It's going to be Arcade, but finding the frags. 3 on the run already. A couple of bullets left, but it doesn't matter. Snow is already swinging there with the backup, and it's gonna be an equalizer here coming in. 5 to 5, from 1 to 5 to 5 to 5. That's 4 rounds in a row for THK. Wow.
You can definitely see Zach that she wanted to go for that 4K. She really did, but she didn't have enough bullets any longer. Positioning coming in from RKNY, very powerful, especially if you have a 3-man push towards CT side. Despite that Lear, she didn't shoot it down anyway. And in the end, she managed to pull off advantageous position on her end. 5 to 5 is going to be the score. And THK really taking this slowly but surely, Zach.
Yeah, they're really changing up the pace here. So again, like these last 2 rounds, they were kind of conditioning Orangutan to think again. They like going for these fast and heavy hits. That's been what they're like doing. But now, once again, they slow it down. They're just trying to spray through the smoke, find a kind of bit of chip damage, maybe a lucky kill. But nothing really coming through. Trailblazer invested by Orangutan to make sure that nobody is quite sneaking up through mid. And you can see Snow considering like, I put my boom bot down, check if anyone's pushing. Eventually does decide to do so, but it's just a bit of a default coming in so far.
It's gonna be 3 people actually looking towards mid here. You can see the importance that this mid control has for the side of OGX, and they want to go for that aggressive positioning. Again, if you push in or you have 3 people pushing towards mid, you lose control of some of the sites here. But if they manage to pull it off, especially Chloe sees someone right now, that's gonna be Iceling shutting her down. Again, it's like a domino effect here for OGX.
Yeah, they gambled long. They took mid control, but
They have no
saw
one to
that
beat.
exactly. They went towards that A crunch instead, but it's just gonna be a free B side available for the players of THK. Numbers advantage in their favor. The heal coming in for Ash as well off the back of the Lulu.
Spike planted.
And now once again site is taken for Orangutan. The saving grace is that they have the ultimates to work with. Again, though, the awareness. Looking for that playground and Lurk finding that kill basically for free, and now it's gonna be a 3v5. CT push,
Last player
surprising
standing.
Casper to beat, and a 1v5 to keep. We've seen her achieve a lot before. Already fighting 2 on the round. The flash will buy a little bit more time, and time is the problem here, right? The clock already having ticked down. Japeeps having to make a decision here. Does she want to hold on to the gun or find a couple more frags? Already the research is caught between a rock and a hard place. Lulu will say Sky Diff, and it's gonna be THK stealing the lead back.
Good play
Last
this
round
position
in the
coming in
half.
from THK. As soon as they were able to shut down one player here, especially coming in from the flank, Zach, you play against a team that sneaks up in every single round towards the side and you try to sneak up against them, you know exactly what to expect and what will happen because they are going to be anticipating that as well. We started off with a very good start coming in from OGX here, but it seems like THK, those micro adjustments are really working out in their favor.
Oh, now though, you see I think for the first time, some significant A pressure coming out of Orangutan here. Paincho's doing quite a bit of chip damage to a Lulu. Almost like 50, I believe, if my math is correct. My math is not very good. Spoiler alert. But you do see them taking aggressive moves until now. Lulu caught in the sewers. Oh, what a flick on the Curly. Just as nasty work. But little Casper onto site, still being able to find refrags and trades. And still Casper on that backside being an absolute menace. Finding two before she's finally shut down here. Now Japib,
One enemy remaining.
Dodges the flash. Clean
Spike
headshot
down,
Hannah,
B.
and it's going to be a 1v2. Japib's still alone on site for now, so all she has to do is stall for time until Chloe's there to back her up here. Japib's doing her best, and now Chloe's there. The cavalry is here. No 1v1s for Ash, and that is going to be the round for Orangutan. 6-6 half. What are we thinking?
Switching
here,
sides.
Taylor?
My god, it's gonna be an intense battle here, but it's not yet over. It's still a halftime. That's why we're gonna pass it on to our panelists to talk about what happened in the first half. Donut and Tash, take it away.
Thank you very much, Goated Casters. Back to us here on the desk. And honestly, we had already anticipated this to happen. We were just talking about it in the pre-show, Donut, how we sometimes on attack, we are going to be seeing that power spike and exactly what THK brought to the table. Now, we did talk about Orangutan versus THK previously on this particular map. What do you think they learned so far and how did they adapt?
I think there was a lot of adaptation, especially for OGX when they selected that double duelist composition, especially with Chloe selecting the Reina. It was a strong start for them. The aggression was there, but it was put to a halt after a couple of timeouts from the hero KDA. And what they did was they tried to unpack whatever solutions there were, and what they did was to overwhelm them with numbers when it comes down to the aggression. And I loved how they would always come in together, always hand holding, and then they would always overwhelm Casperon towards the site. Even the likes of Twirly can't do anything about it, even with her utility. So I guess their adjustments when it came down to how they would attack was the biggest X factor for the first half.
I think what's also important about is talk about THK's control here. The mid control was especially important because I want to highlight that on that because they took their time. Whether it's gonna be a push out from B or main or even A main, what they do after is quickly to rotate through mid. And because Eruma had put all of her utilities on the mid side, the problem now is they are slowly just removing those utilities, taking up that space and making sure they do not lose control of it. And it's putting Orangutan X in a problem because they're not able to play together and work as a team. And I think despite the 5 wins in a row, I think the economy for Orangutan X hasn't been so great as well because the rounds have been very, very close. THK looking very good at attack. I'm really curious to see what exactly they can bring us on defense, which is exactly what's going to happen now on this round half. So I'm going to pass it over to Taylor as well as Zach. On to you guys.
Oh, I thought the camera was gonna show. I was preparing my wingman, man. I was ready to cosplay my wingman. But anyway, welcome back here to the second half. We are looking at OGX versus Hero KDA. We talked about it a while ago, Zach, as well, but I want to touch upon that last final round we had. It was a little messy, not gonna lie. And to a point where the teams, for example, OGX, same goes to THK, they managed to get 1 kill here, but they don't know there's gonna be another player from behind. So it was a little bit more of they rotate a lot for both sides that they don't even see each other until the site is open.
Yeah, OG have been making some kind of questionable gambles when it comes to positioning, but now this is their chance to really shine because they are running that double duelist comp. Both Chloe and Twirly there on that Jet and Raze that we love to see. Well, I love to see personally. I know a lot of people kind of get hate for it, but I personally loved it. Especially if you're Chloe and you're having a game like her, currently top frag on the team, just popping off, perfect agent. And you can see Orangutan making their way up towards Rams already. Close to taking Heaven control, but they want to go into the site. The problem is, there's a Killjoy setup here, and Timmy the Turret is just player 6 on a pistol roll.
I mean, if you can kill RK and Y, why not, right? It makes it a little easier. And to be fair, even on OGX's side a while ago when we had Aruma, she was not able to capitalize much on the tripwires, if you noticed. And THK, they know to swerve around utilities here, hopefully for the side of OGX too. But a good kill coming in from Aisling. Quite unaware. It's going to be Casper and Twerdy though. There's going to be one player
remaining.
left immediately.
Spike
It is a
down
4v1.
Yeah, Spike gotta be dropping as well. Chloe on this lurk though, Arena with an overheal and a frenzy. The only problem is the claw. Chloe can't quite take the spike and run away. Has to get the kills already though. It's gonna be Hannah saying frenzy diff, gets the clean shots, and that is gonna be the pistol taken by THK. And I think that for the side of THK, the moment where they won the round was when they found that timing onto Casper. Casper's not expecting that drive pushing out at that time. It was just really unlucky. And the fact that they were just able to collapse on that. THK.
She didn't expect that there's gonna be that push coming in. Not only that, but that aggression coming in from THK as well. But to say the least, THK winning that pistol. Again, you remove the momentum towards the hands of OGX here. It seems like he started off really, really strong, but adjustments from the hero KDA so far has been phenomenal, and now they are also on that momentum ride.
Momentum for sure. No plant either for OG, so we're not gonna be seeing a force spike coming out either. Bit of a rough round for them. Only Chloe arming up with the frenzy after being able to find that kill. It's gonna be a very, very rough round for OG. The Sand teams are not what they'd like to be doing ideally. They have taken mid control for free at the very least, but that's just how THK are playing. They're happy to kind of get that for free instead of opting to go in for side play instead. And already you can see the quick back and forth coming out here. RKNY in the corner along with the Lulu. It's just a slaughterhouse towards mid, and now it's just Aruma left alone, just running into the waiting crosshair of Ash. That is going to be a flawless for THK.
Flawless round indeed from the side of the hero KDA here. So far, Aisling has already caught 2 players from B main, again with her aggressive positioning here. But not only that, OGX was playing for contact, and Chloe was looking at that time in the floor, maybe looking at the alarm bot if I'm not mistaken. And caught off guard. Again, they were looking for the contact, and contact is what they saw from the hands of THK though. 6-8, this is now the bye round of OGX. Hopefully, they can come back a little, but also on the other side, THK, they seem to have it figured out at this point.
Yeah, they're reading OG quite well here. Now though, Orangutan, the spike itself positioned towards A. A little bit of pressure on the other side of the map, but it's just going to be Hannah on this A side trying to watch for the crosshair. Does have her full kit of utility, and with the off angle, might even be able to pick off a player for free before anything else really comes down. It depends on how OG play this, especially with Snow coming in for the backup as well. Chloe with a beautiful headshot, able to find the first, and Chloe with the second. Chapeeps does get tagged up quite a bit, but the numbers advantage is still significantly in favor of Orangutan. There's only one more player left on site, and if she can do some damage, maybe find a couple of kills, it might be what THK need to make this bonus really work. Kolulu though, in a very, very rough spot out there.
They're gauging on that kill from Olulu, especially for the players here from Heaven. But RKNY was able to pull off 1 kill before she dies off towards the hands of OGX here. 7-8. Clean round coming in from OGX. Especially, it was obvious they were looking for contact here and immediately found Hannah, and because of that, this opens up the opportunity for the rest of the players to really take control of Heaven here and remove the space from THK. But look at this, Zach. Now, going for that operator is gonna be Hannah. It can be the game changer here for THK.
Yeah, Hannah has been really great at setting up the rest of the team, but with this operator on a beach, I mean, honestly, we've seen an operator on every single agent at this point. Who are we kidding? And Hannah with that operator already, though, from Heaven being able to find that kill. I take my initial skepticism back. Repositioning to boot as well, and stunning Curly to make sure that she can't take up more space and possibly try to go in for that blue tag. Now they're trying to go onto side. Japeems with a clean shot onto RKNY. That's the difference between the Phantom and the Vandal. Headshots.
Spike planted.
All those warning shots coming in from Hannah as well. Like, she just kept shooting that operator after that initial kill to scare off the remaining members here of OGX. But in the end, we're able to plant the spike. Snow was just waiting for the perfect opportunity to kill off that trap. And that's going to be the kill towards Luma as well. Trap destroyed. Casper to get the kill. And now this is going to be the post plant. Playing it out. It's up to Iceling. And I think it's rather going to be a save than a fight.
Honestly understandable. 1v3 where the 3 players are Japeeps, Casper, and Twirly. I would not want to do that, especially considering how expensive that operator was. THK, they can try to make that round work around it. And honestly, that was some really beautiful play coming out of OG. You know, they get the information that there's going to be an operator towards Heaven. Immediately, you see 3 players push into the site. Japeeps finds that kill onto RKNY. And after that, they just hold down these crossfires. Sure, everyone goes down to that well-timed flank, caught looking at the camera instead. But aside from that, Orangutan, they were almost being able to just dodge that flash and find those 2 kills towards main, completely shut down any hope that the hero KDA had for a retake.
They still want to gauge on that operator for the next following rounds here, Zach. Now, what I'm worried about, actually, I think we're looking at a pause here anyway. What I'm actually worried about is when you have an operator, especially on the defense here, especially you have it with Hannah, who cannot really hyper-rotate quite fast compared to a Jet, for example, or, you know, other agents. But then, the value of the operator, you lose it, especially when you have to make a retake happen. And it seems like right now for OGX, when they figure out that the play for contact actually works and they can actually loop into the site without anyone knowing as well, this is where my issues would be more raised upon, because the operator again in play, the movements is a little tight. Not only that, you also have to fight with the double swings, etc.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too much to handle. Hannah, of course, was able to get that first kill and stay alive, but after that, it was RKNY really needed to stay alive there, but she was just snowboarded with utility, caught between a rock and a hard place, and unfortunately, the headshot that she did as well was only 140 damage. RIP. But overall, I think Orangutan, they're slowly like building up their confidence on these attacks, especially Chloe in particular. She has been so good at just taking up space. You know, you expect when you're running a race on this map that race is going to be the one kind of like saturating in, creating plays. And of course, Trilly is doing that, but just Chloe constantly getting those refrags, being able to just play along with Casper and the rest of the team. And of course, Casper has been phenomenal ever since she's been on this team, but I think this year, she is just on a whole other level, especially when she picks up that Astra. Oof.
True. I would also like to add, especially towards Chloe as well, a little bit of an expectation that maybe she would lurk around and try to get kills for herself. But in the end, you have that power, the capability to produce a double flash onto a site. Why not use it? The Leer takes up a lot of space, especially for pro plays. Sometimes you just don't kill it off, and they capitalize on it. We are looking at a judge right now. Look at this, exactly what I mean. No one is throwing a Leer here just to not give out the info, but they know it's gonna be a judge. They back away.
Yeah, they're like, I'm to do with that. I completely understand.
Not today.
I feel the same way when I hear a judge. However, they do spot out Hannah's position, so they know where that operator is probably going to be playing, looking to go towards this A side instead. But the angle that Smokey is holding, it's a very dangerous one. Casper more than ready for just the awareness coming out of this player every single time, able to find that kill and get that heal back up to full HP. Now, 4v5 scenario, the gun's not the greatest for the side of THK. Hannah not here either, so that high-impact operator will be finding almost no impact. It's going to be a very, very good round for the side of THK, especially with them falling like flies.
Twirly finds one, and not other than that, Aruma was able to actually get a kill towards ramps as well. This opens up the side for them to take and plant the spike, but look at this, Iceling waiting patiently. It's gonna be a shorty shot, and that's gonna be it for Twirly. It's still a 3v2 scenario here, Zach.
But they have the weapons now. They're both now reconditioning, trying to go towards his backside. Casper, 15 HP and a one stuck in the corner. Can't really do much here. Hannah finding one as well on that operator, and now it's gonna be the cosmic divide here. Japeeps in a clutch scenario. 1v2. spots out the shoulder, but can't connect the kills. You know how I said that this is a Thrifty round, it's gonna be almost impossible? Well, not if you're Ash, just sitting in that corner, picking up that first one, finding that rifle. And remember, this is between an operator and a shorty. 2v4. That's what made this round possible. What?
Not only that, the Cosmic Divide was beautifully placed, especially after clearing it out. This removes the complete angle from the side of OGX. They planted it in the open and now you can't see it at all. You have to go through. Your bullets wouldn't connect. You don't have a paint shell left for you if you are Japeeps, obviously. And all she doesn't have a choice at that point but to swing out. And either that or take the advantage for the side of OGX here and really make a double swing happen in that Cosmic Divide from Hero KDA. Again, maximizing utilities is one factor here to consider, not only the kills. We are to a 9-8. The Hero KDA, they are on the upper hand here with one round, but we're looking at a timeout and the possibility that you want to convert more rounds.
They certainly have the ults to work with it. They have that lockdown available for a retake if necessary. Nothing from Orangutan can really stop that, with the exception of Trolley. If she gets that showstopper, she might be able to just slam it into the ult's face and possibly find a couple of kills as well. But aside from that, ultimate economy, it's definitely in the favor of OG. They have that Cosmic Divide to be able to get onto side. Japeeps has Seekers. And if you really need some additional information after the Seekers, you also do have that Neural Depth on Aruma. So they have a lot to work with here. However, their economy is in a very precarious spot. You know, they've spent almost everything they've had into this round. Next round is going to be a little bit rough for them, and they're going for a very aggressive A hit already. Cosmic Divide and Seekers coming out.
Especially with that kind of Cosmic Divide, this is going to be a sure A hit now as the showstopper comes out in the hands of Twirly. She's trying to look for someone to actually pop it on. RKNY goes down already, but that showstopper would never see light of day. Olulu, on the other hand, goes for the flash and actually kills the one planting the spike. Now that the Cosmic Divide is away, she has to fight with a triple kill. She managed to do so. 5 HP remaining, and they can still make a sandwich play happen here, Zach.
Live trying to put those smokes down into, like you mentioned, Aruma, though, finding that kill is huge. That's going to trigger that Neural Theft, and the remaining players, they're going to know exactly where they are. Ash and Hannah. Spike finally going down. Casper being able to get it onto site here. Aruma going up towards heaven. Trying to find a frag. Finding a better positioning here. Does spot out Ash. Gets her to really low HP, but not quite able to finish off the kill. And now Casper playing aggressive. Despite that operator looking to find some frag value. One spotted out. Aruma, though, goes down despite the low HP. And now it's once again down to Casper to be that clutch player her team needs. Finds the first, but Hannah swapping out that weapon is able to refrag immediately, and THK, they get stuck into the first. How did that round fall apart?
Really quick thinking coming in here from THK side, but not other than that, the shots just didn't connect, especially for the players up above heaven, especially for the Astra that just jumps down because she has the unequipped time, to say the least. And isolating the angle is very much needed. Again, for the side of the Hero KDA here, having Olulu alive and getting a triple kill like that, there's something that they have to fix up here. And they tried. Again, if the shots wouldn't connect, what else can you do, right? You have to just completely reset right now. And a good timeout might help them as well.
Yeah, they definitely need to reset. I think Aruma, of course, only had a Bulldog, wasn't quite able to finish off the kill. I think that despite Ash only having like about 5 HP left, just being able to find that kill onto Aruma was what really changed the course of that round. They took 2v1s almost the entire time after that. You saw her waiting for Hannah, being able to find that kill onto Aruma, and then they swing together onto poor Casper, who can only do so much. And unfortunately, that's going to be a round that Orangutan should have won, especially after getting those 2 entry picks and investing like 3 or 4 ultimates in it. It's just going to be a loss, unfortunately, instead this time around, and not much left in the bank here for them, both ultimate-wise and money-wise. They're going to be playing a bit of a half-buy purchase. If they can convert it, well and good, but otherwise 8 to 11.
Yeah,
Not ideal.
THK, they lost the operator here, but in the end, they won the round, right? So the importance right now of each and every round, especially you're on a double-digit scoreline, very essential for the team and to really keep up at it. But again, OGX will try for a take to happen. Again, control over Ramen. That's going to be the double shot from Casper actually connecting.
Casper, as always, coming in clutch, being able to find those 2 kills is huge, and that's going to be a couple more rifles that they can possibly retrieve if they decide to go forward. Ash now playing aggressive, trying to prevent that very possibility, does get spotted out, and unfortunately will be forced to fall back. Off the back of that orangutan, they find 2 guns that they can use to try and make things work. Casper just pulling out the heroics. I think that's also the showstopper that got taken down, so wow.
A lot, really. A lot has been taken away, that's for sure. But I think one more to be taken away here is gonna be Aruma as Hannah shuts her down away. 3v3 situation, still a lot of delays coming in the hands of the hero KDA. But I think they can feel that it's gonna be a rotations going to A site. They only have a few seconds to do so or decide so. With the lockdown being placed, it's just gonna be another delay, and OGX has to decide now. It's either gonna be a fight or a rotate. It's gonna be a fight.
Oh, unfortunately, though, the frags still go in favor
Spike
of
planted.
the side of the hero KDA, and Japeep's forced to plant with that clock ticking down. Hannah will be able to find the perfect timing and just get that final kill. That was a really, really nice cosmic ride coming out of Ash there, to be able to put that angle down, force them to just have one real way to peek into that lockdown and to fight it off. It was just such fantastic work. It got so much later.
Yeah, it brought so much delay. It also brought so much worry in the hands here of OGX. And you can definitely see that from the players from Heaven, that they were contemplating, are we gonna push or are we gonna rotate because we're close to vents? And as time is ticking away, again, 30 seconds, you have to decide fast. Despite that, THK was already in position to take on the kills anyway. And again, good usage of utilities overall. Japeeps, on the other hand, it's a brand new round here. It might seem like a showstopper will actually right be in their face, but Twirly managed to escape.
Not like this. That is just such a great kill coming out. Japeep's being taken down like that. That's gonna mean no more flash initiation available for your duelists. No
That's why you have
Trailblazer
Chloe.
either.
That's why she chose the Reyna.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be like info flashes
Yeah.
anymore, right? It's just breakable Reyna flashes,
Obviously.
which aren't nearly as good, unfortunately. And Snowkey gets away, doesn't even take a scratch, just gets that kill and is like, yeah, you know what? I did my work. I'm out of here. See you later, guys.
Yeah, they know when to fight and they know how to actually stop the fight as well. When they have that advantage, why do we need to push it? And exactly like that, they just go back to the side, retreat, and regroup yet again. Chloe, with a good opening here towards Olulu. They still have to find one. Twirly, on the other hand, she might go down, but Casper quick on her toes to actually get the kill first. It's gonna be Twirly. Not yet for the kill, but instead the other members of OGX.
That's just a slaughterhouse. They come in one by one towards Heaven
Protect
into
Twirly at all costs, Zach.
I agree. Twirly is a queen. She deserves to be president. Get down, man. We got you. But you know, that was just really, really good awareness coming out of Orangutan. Casper to be able to check that corner and just their positioning. They were waiting for people to come out of that heaven smoke. You see them jumping down one by one, and it's just like, yeah, let me do some skeet shooting here. Chloe gets one. Aruma gets one. I think that Twirly finally managed to get that last one. So Orangutan, they're not giving up yet.
You are
If
divided.
Casper and Twirly died from that spray down, it would have been a different story here. But again, they saved the day. Another brand new round. Cosmic Divide has been set already. The race is inside. The boombot explodes, but it's gonna be Japeeps and Twirly exploding onto them. A 4v3 situation again. THK, they're on a low buy here. Zach and Japeeps already going for the plant.
Spike planted.
Yeah, Spike will go down. There was a moment where you saw like Twirly shooting at Japeeps, and it's just like, oh wait, that's my Sky, that's not a Lulu. But yeah, that part, it's gonna be a bit of an awkward retake there. Spectre making his way on the side. Doesn't matter, it's gonna be Japeeps and Twirly between them, just cleaning house here. Lulu finds one with the Sheriff, but that crossfire is too much for THK to really contend with. Then Orangutan, they make it to 10, one round away from being able to draw even, and they have the Seekers, only two off the Showstoppers as well, so they're building up some of these ultimates, but so are the Hero KDA. They're one off that Rolling Thunder and one off the Seekers. They have the Seekers themselves, so ultimate-wise, more or less pretty even.
We're looking at back-to-back rounds here from the side of OGX and THK. And at this point, despite THK having that 1-point advantage here, you also have to worry with the economy that OGX is bringing to the table, the damage that they did to THK. And if they lose this round, they wouldn't have anything to buy off for the next. Quite scary, I would say. Twirly already trying to find someone to punish. Seekers has been used in the hands of THK here. No one really to find immediate shutdown on those utilities. And maybe we might be actually seeing a rotation.
Pretty much so. They made a bit of noise. They haven't really caused any damage here with all 5 players being left alive, but at least it is gonna keep those 3 players on that A side, just positioned towards that side of the map. Iruma still kind of lurking around sewers, but everybody else heading towards B instead, where already Casper has lobby control, so it's only gonna be Ash on site. We've seen the kind of damage though Astros can do when they're just playing around this backside. They're basically like a pseudo sentinel themselves, and now that they have the Q, they hear the sounds. It's gonna be the rush coming in from OG with them off the back of those Seekers. They make their way onto site, but it's gonna be these 2 players. Just Chloe again on fire with that Reina fighting the refrags, 2 for the price of 1, and Orangutan, they get the plants.
Good Seekers, I would say. And again, you have good utility usage here. Aruma, on the other hand, will go down. Chloe, though, going really intense in the hands of THK. From the previous rounds, we've seen her. She was basically shut down here over and over again by THK, but it seems like she found a new spark and she's going for it.
Yeah, Orangutan, that's a sign of life that they really needed. And once a Reina wakes up, it's gonna be super hard to stop her. Chloe just mowing through them, 22 and 16, topping the scoreboard far past anyone else. So Casper is, of course, as always, right behind her. It's like whenever these 2 girls play, it's like a competition. Like, I'm top frag, no, you're top frag, no, I'm top frag, no, you're top frag. And it's just the same thing again today. Nothing new here. Chloe back from her vacation, ready to slay out, and already slaying out, I gotta say, on that first map. But 11 to 11, the economy not in the greatest spot for THK. And Orangutan, knowing this, look at the patience out of him.
Patience is key as well, and OGX versus THK. Zach, we were talking about it already the previous round, and I mentioned it, that THK, their economy is completely shattered here by OGX yet again. In a double-digit score. This is the match point score we're talking about, and it seems like OGX really lopsided and got those rounds that are very impactful and very essential for the economy that we're talking about. Aisling quite prepared, but this paint shields actually doesn't hit her. She was saved by this wall, but Twirly wouldn't be saved, and that's gonna be Aisling going for the second here onto the headshot, but goes down in the hands of Casper.
B.
I know exactly where you
Still a doable situation. Now the Neuro that's coming out, that's going to reveal the position of these last 2 players. Casper on the hunt here. Still trying to find these kills. Oh no, RK and Wido still finding value. Huge kill there, and now it's all up to the Cypher. On the lurk, knows that there's at least one on side, most likely both of them. Can't quite see the Killjoy hat or the barrel, so Ruma's going to be forced to drop down here. Can't even make a little bit of noise, unfortunately. 15 seconds left. She has to go for this. Very awkward fight. Swing is going to come out. Find the first. Sees the second. And it's not going to be a clutch. Snow more than ready for it. Will get that headshot. Iruma almost getting the 1v2. But the Thrifty instead, for THK, is going to get them to match points. And Orangutan, they still have the guns to work with. They have the ults to work with. But for the hero KDA, they have those and more. And they are very close to being able to lock them out.
The thing I notice about, especially towards Aruma, is that she knows how to really isolate the fight. She's been put into a position where it was a 1v3 situation, and or a 2v3 even, but she still knows exactly where the angle might be that the enemy wouldn't see her as well. She uses this and utilizes it quite well. 11 to 12 is going to be the score again. Another try for an entry here from the side of OGX. They have a showstopper in play, but immediately a lockdown has been placed. Showstopper wouldn't connect that wall, but instead push out that turret away, and they have to respect this. No space, no kills.
No time either, so yeah, of course, they're gonna have to be forced to wait it out. That's gonna be the only major ultimate that they had really coming into play. The Empress as well ticking down here. Already, you can see the backup coming in on this B side. 3 defenders just positioned. they make any kind of aggressive play, they're gonna go down, and the Empress runs out as well. Orangutan effectively have no ults in this particular round, and that's against the Rolling Thunder and an almost ready Cosmic Divide coming in. 50 seconds left on the clock. It seems like they're still wanting to just play the B side, but through the smoke, Ash able to find a kill and do so much damage. The crossfires between THK players are just too much for anyone to deal with. A perfect stun as well from the side. Hannah rolling Thunder to boot, and what a way to win the game. I think that was basically a flawless thing in that final round, and it is going to be that first map taken by the hero KDA. And this is from 1 to 5, Taylor. They were like 4 rounds down, and they came back in that first half, equalized at 6-6. Again, Orangutan, they took the lead early, but the hero KDA, just phenomenal teamwork coming out of them over that entire map.
The anticipation was there already at that point. After the lockdown has been placed, it was a triple stack on to B. Not only that, but they were also waiting for Aruma to make something happen on towards mid. There was too many traps though, and immediately Japeeps, or rather on the side of the hero KDA here, they were able to utilize the guiding light to know the intel, to know the info. There's not just enough power towards heaven to actually make a control happen here. But again, the hero KDA, they look so happy. What can you say about that, Wingman? Yeah, he's happy too, Zach.
I mean, anyone who sees Wingman at this point is gonna be very happy. That includes me and everybody watching, I suppose. I love you, Wingman. But that's enough from us. Let's throw it to our wonderful panelists to break down what we just saw.
Thank you for that kiss, Wingman. Love it from you guys. Thank you also to Terrar as well as Zach. Now, coming back to the panelist desk here, it was a phenomenal match between the hero KDA as well as Orangutan X. Again, reminding you guys that previously Orangutan X was the one to take that map, and coming into today, what a dominating performance from the hero KDA. So I'm pretty sure that there's a lot to talk about, but I think that we really want to talk about here is about which team does it better. What do you think, Donut?
I think that there are a lot of things, right, that we saw in the first half that didn't really push through for OGX. They had a wonderful start, a big lead, basically. THK, they were down 4 points, but they just immediately threw that back and away from Orangutan X. I think one of the things that are very different between the two would be how they position themselves in the map. And Split is really tricky because of all of these narrow corners. You do have all of the utilities just lay down on the site, and also the potential of Casper being the hero for the team with all of the utility, it wasn't necessarily just shown, right? I think that was just a lack of setup for her during the defense, but she did pull through during the offense. But I do have to celebrate, of course, one of the members of THK, which was Iceling. She did show up during the last 4 rounds, getting all of these multi-kills each and every time. And even as the Astra, look at her first kills. 5 kills during the, I think most of them were really garnered during the defense. But I really have to give it also to the team of OGX. I think one of the reasons why they lost this map was really that lack of mastery for the roles, because we all know Chloe to be a great aimer, a great player, but she was embodying that Reyna, which we didn't really see come into play with Twirly as the Raze. So I think there were just a lot of gaps that OGX really had to fill in, but I guess there are still a lot of things to decide on for the next map. Are they going to be doing the double duelist again for Fracture? I think that's the biggest question of all.
I mean, when you look at how they play for the hero KDA, other than Aisling, I think Aisling has been such a great job doing a great job on that map in particular. She's a great anchor. She's a great, I would say, band-aid player when push comes to shove, when it comes to those clutch moments, and she's really good at these aim duels. And I would like to kind of like compare it to Orangutan, where it feels like in so many situations, Orangutan was just using so many of these aim duels. Sometimes it also feels like a little bit of an overheat as well, when you think about how they push out a little bit too greedily, when they weren't able to prepare for that post plant, when they weren't able to try to push into site. Feels like they were a little bit at loss about how to deal with these executes. And coming back to our talking about Iruma putting her utility at mid there, it felt like it was not only cleared very quickly, but the space was also given away so quick. I mean, so fast as well. It's just taken away by THK, and THK looks so good. I mean, even on defense, what's even more scary is the fact that at first you saw a little bit of aggressive play play coming in from THK. And then OGX went to a more defensive play where they played on contact. And when that didn't happen or didn't work out, what THK did was work on a little bit more of that conditioning. But coming back here, let's see how exactly it's going to be working out for the Fracture, whether it's going to go 2-0 or 2-1. Let's go for a quick break. And when we come back, more Orang Utan versus the THK.
One enemy ready. Spike down B. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Thrifty. One enemy remaining. Flawless. One enemy remaining. Flawless. Oh, come on. One enemy remaining. Ready. Spike down A.
That's 3.
Good done.
What's your tiptoeing? We wanna get it funk in the club, funk in the club, with a funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, with a get it funk with a couple hundred thugs. Funk in the club, funk in the club, with a funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, with a get it funk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here, everybody round, everybody round here, know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here, know we getting hype. We wanna get it funk in the club, funk in the club, with a funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, with a get it funk with a couple hundred thugs. Funk in the club, funk in the club, with a funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, with a get it funk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here, everybody round, everybody round here, know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here, know we getting hype.
Permainan yang sengit di map split tadi sudah memberikan 1-0 kepada di Hero KDA. Meskipun begitu, masih ada map kedua yang bisa kita saksikan bersama-sama untuk melihat apakah Orangutan X bisa membalas skala mereka di map pertama tadi. Masih di Valorant Game Changers APAC Series 2023 bersama dengan Abigail, Dave, dan nantinya akan ada caster-casters dari Albert Frospisti dan juga Rere Brendel. Nah, kita ngebahas map kedua yang bisa dibilang ini bukan map yang seharusnya nyaman dimainkan oleh The Hero KDA. Tapi melihat performance mereka di split, gue melihat sepertinya masih ada secercah harapan.
Ini open ending sih menurut gue untuk kedua tim, especially karena kedua tim ini juga hampir bisa gue bilang melakukan kesalahan yang sama ya. Setelah gue barusan nge-review apa yang terjadi di map pertama, sebenarnya itu banyak banget fundamental mistake yang terjadi yang dilakukan sama The Hero KDA dan juga Orangutan X. Kita melihat juga bahwasanya performa dari The Hero KDA di map Fracture ini kelihatan banget ini bukanlah map yang mereka mainkan dengan nyaman. Berbeda halnya dengan Orangutan X, mereka benar-benar nyaman juga, mereka sering banget main di Fracture walaupun mereka memang punya win rate yang gak bagus-bagus banget untuk map Fracture-nya itu sendiri. Cuman ada satu hal yang harus gue garis bawahi di sini. Kalau misalnya Orangutan masih melakukan kesalahan-kesalahan seperti apa yang mereka lakukan di map pertama, menurut gue ini adalah kesempatan yang besar banget untuk The Hero KDA itu sendiri, di mana mereka hanya tinggal memfix beberapa mistake-mistake kecil seperti kayak nggak ngecek angle, beberapa kali sequence utility-nya aja. Especially ini udah mereka map yang bukan mainkan 1 kali 2 kali, ini adalah ketiga kalinya The Hero akan memainkan map Fracture. Otomatis harusnya mereka udah punya plan yang baru gimana caranya mereka bisa untuk melakukan approach. Sementara itu dari Orangutan X, ya balik lagi kesalahan mereka itu adalah kesalahan minor yang harus mereka cepat atasi, kayak ngecek angle, terus main mungkin harus memberikan sedikit variasi-variasi yang baru, tidak hanya dengan mempertahankan skenario 4-1 mereka, karena ketika skenario 4-1
or a double duelist, which we saw Orangutan X bring to the table. Now, I'm not sure if Emmy was playing in the previous rounds that they've played on this map during the Swiss, or if we saw Chloe play on this round of Swiss. But depending on their setups, which just now was kind of broken down by our friends over our casters, that they said that obviously the setups was set up around Emmy. What do you think we can expect with Chloe in the game?
Yeah, with Chloe in the game, I guess they just really have to decide whether or not which type of player, because Chloe can be a good Viper, but I guess there will be a bit of adjustment. She will now be the fade for the team, which is very surprising because we haven't really seen her play this agent before. And I'm not one to really direct our eyes there whether or not this is going to be a mistake, but given the competition of THK and Olulu really bringing so much to the table as the initiator, I guess if we were to compare the head-to-head of Olulu versus the fate of Chloe, experience-wise, I would go in favor of Olulu. And Chloe, I think she has a lot of expectations now for the team. The team play has to be there, which THK really has a bigger weight, especially with how they played in split.
I actually prefer having that breach, that hard entry that he can provide coming into the site, which can enable Snowkey, will bring a lot to the table. The question now is how exactly they'll be able to counter this sort of set play. Can they play offsite and go for retakes is the question. But I think that our casters are pretty much ready to go. So let's see how it's going to go here, whether or not this round 2 between THK and Orangutan would go to a win in Orangutan's favor. Let's throw it to our wingman as well as Zach and Tay. Take it away, ladies.
I feel like this VCT Game Changers Open is just like a wingman chiming in simulator like
He's
almost every
sleeping.
single time.
Sorry,
Aw,
Dash.
he's a bit tired.
He's
He was a bit
tired.
After that first map, I can't blame him at all. But Taylor, looking at these team comps coming in, the one thing that I am super excited for personally is just watching Twirly on that Neon again. I think last year for Bren Victra, she was like one of the strongest duelists ever on that server on this particular map, and to see her back on that Neon action, I am so excited.
Exactly what I was thinking as well when I was seeing and looking at the agent composition. I'm excited to see Twirly back on that Neon. Again, they played Fracture the first day we had, and I also casted that game as well. And you can definitely see the confidence she has taking in the site. They might have lost the game back then against Full Sense, but in the end here, you have to give credit where credit's due. And those times that they were on the attack, the entry was amazing. It was well prepared here. Again, OGX, they just have to be the team where they don't lose the ball in the middle of the game, because it happens every time we look at them. They started off really strong, and then the micro adjustments from the other team, respective team, comes in, and they just couldn't keep up.
Yeah, we saw this as well during this particular open, like in their opening match against Big Sight. They had that initial advantage in Orangutan so far, even over the course of today. They've been able to find that adjustment right off the start, but as the game progresses, they're not able to like really keep up the kind of momentum and pace that we've been seeing, that we've come to expect out of them, to say the least. Now, though, they're going to be starting off on the attack side. Already, you see them farming up those orbs, which personally is my favorite strategy on Fracture. When you have 4 orbs, you might as well try to
Why
get
not?
them into your pockets. Exactly, yeah. And now they're looking to just go towards this arcade and make a push into the site, but there's going to be that killjoy ability on site.
Or maybe they're just creating boba milk teas, right? On the side. You just never know. Anyway, moving forward, Anna, though, already out of the equation here as Twirly shuts her down, but RKNY fights off. Managed to pick up a trade here. 4v3 situation as they plan a spike right now. Twirly knows exactly where one of the players of THK would be, but they have to move further away. They have to take care of this post-plant situation in a 4v2.
Yeah. At least AHP is going to
Player
be
standing.
in the favor of these V-takers. But as I say, that Snow goes down to Twirly despite being only 22 HP, says, no problem, guys. This is my map and my agent. I got this. Slaying out as always. It's all done just a Lulu. 1v4, hit by the stun. They know exactly where she is. They manages to finally take down Twirly, but Casper there for the trade. And Orangutan, they once again take the pistol on this particular map. And the thing about Fracture is that this is probably one of Orangutan's best maps. They managed to... they've been playing it for such a long time, and even though they lost, I think, last open, they've still been able to like really dominate on this particular one.
Yeah, but you also have to remember it's a revamped setup. It's a revamped team we're looking at here as well. Though they really have good performance here in Fracture, that also means there's going to be lots of VODs to look at, lots of understanding from the respective teams, especially coming in here in the open. But another brand new round is what we're looking at. OGX, they have the upper hand, but look at this. A 4-man stack towards B. Actually 5. So quite deadly in the hands of THK if OGX decides to go to B.
Yeah, that's just not a very fun prospect walking into classic right clicks and shorties and everything in between here. Now though, Orangutan themselves, they do seem to be getting a little bit of information at least. They spot out a couple of players, and Ruma finds one, but Snow finds the trade and doesn't even take any damage. So that's gonna be one gun that they can retake. And Orangutan, they make some noise. They put down the fast lane here to possibly try to hold them, keep them onto that particular site, but instead they're just going to be heading towards the A site. They made the right call. There's still going to be nobody on site, although you do see Snow rotating over, and Snow's the only one with the weapon. It's going to be a lot of work onto her shoulders to make this round, this anti-eco viable again for the side of THK.
Yeah, she's the only one here with the Spectre anyway. And the rest is going to be a follow-up short. Yes, they jump in, and that's going to be Twirly and Chloe. It's a whole crossfire from the side of OGX. Answering back to THK. One by one, they all falter in the hands of OGX. A team ace even. But 2 players, at least for OGX, were pinned down, were gunned down. In the end, the round is still theirs. Imagine, Zach, if they decided to go actually hit B.
Oh, that would have just been extremely scary. But I think that with their Ruma going down, and like kind of the utility being used, they knew for a fact that there were at least 3 there. They were like, you know what, guys, have fun on this site. We don't want anything to do
Enjoy
with
the
it.
site for yourself, then.
Yeah, keep it. We don't want it. You can have it. We'll just like take the spike to the other side of the map. And now Orangutan, a bit of a broken bike here, but they are getting close to some of these really crucial ults for their full by round 2 off of that Nightfall for Chloe. And Casper only 3 away from that orbital strike. Now off the back of the smoke, they're looking to get close and aggressive. And Casper already being able to find 2 kills there is huge. Lulu finally shutting her down, but the damage has already been down. It's done. It's gonna be a 2v4
Whoa.
retake.
The tripwire. It's a whole limbo rack towards tower here that RKNY was looking at. But anyway, going back to the game, Iruma, she has a camera set up anyway. It's already a crossfire. It's going to be a firing squad, honestly, for the players of THK if they decide to push in. And I think it would rather be a save for them. They would go on the safer side. Good bonus for the side of OGX, though. they capitalize again on the speed that they can bring to the table. You have Casper that can throw out a stim beacon anyway. You have Twirly that can run as fast as she can as well. And if they want to rotate, they also decide fast. This is one of the factors we were able to look at in map number 1 a while ago. The decision making of the team not quite fast to a point where they get stuck.
I think this is one of the nice things about the new kind of players and comps that they're running on the team, is that with the rotators coming in, they're able to completely catch them by surprise in a way. And like you mentioned, that speed coming out of the Stim Beacon, along with, I think that round-winning piece of utility there was that smoke that Casper put down. It cuts off that long angle completely, and they're just able to take these close head-on-head fights. THK should not have been playing to try to push through those smokes. They got punished for it so hard, and Casper finding not one but two. That's just so incredible for Orangutan. Now they definitely do have the advantage here. Not much in the hands of these players from the side of THK with the exception of those two rifles, but already they're able to find these two kills. RKNY and Snowkey between them just churning out kills here, able to pick up the weapons as well, and suddenly this round looks very, very bad for Orangutan.
It looks like they had a delivery, and delivery has been made and picked up. That's what THK might be thinking right now. Again, OGX, they find B site open though. At least they were able to plant a spike here, and now they just have to wait for the retake to happen. Twirly already shuts down one. They know that it can come from CT side. Not only that, Snow already has a Vandal here on her hand. She has to find someone. No more dash away if she must. Twirly finds her instead. This is going to be the Nightfall being used. Twirly for the third. And now going for the fourth even maybe for that shorty. Doesn't matter right now as Aruma already does the job.
It's just Twirly go kill in that particular round.
Protect Twirly at all costs.
You don't need to protect Twirly. She can protect herself. Look at that. That was a massacre on that side. But yeah, Twirly just being peeked one by one. You really don't want to do that with someone as practically. Look at this. She's just really able to find these kills one after the other. And for the last couple, it was Aruma coming in. But all of this again was made possible by that Nightfall from Chloe. It pinpointed the position of all three players exactly like this. They were all towards spawn, and off the back of that, Twirly and Aruma just being able to go pew 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 and hit their headshots. Now though, it's gonna be Hannah on the site here, already taking half her HP in damage, caught out by the Haunt as well, spraying through the scope, desperately trying to find these kills, and the flash is gonna be perfect, setting Twirly up to get that kill once again.
Oh,
no,
the 6-man! Good trade on the 6-man! Timmy turret,
remaining.
but it's not yet over
Spike
here
down,
as
B.
THK bombarding the site as well with how OGX bombarded it. 3v1 situation. Casper left alone here. She still has an orbital strike in use, but no plans at all. She has to figure out if she can pick up one kill, and that's exactly what she finds. Goes for the reposition, even another, and now it's a 1v1, but it's in the end, Olulu with a better positioning here gets the kill.
Casper is just so smart on that controller. 1v3, she puts down a smoke that lets her really isolate these angles. She didn't know Lewis was in position, otherwise she would have just been able to run towards that A site instead. But yeah, that 1v3 almost gets clutched up. Not a situation that you really want to be in, but huge round coming out of the hero KDA. Timmy the turret for one kill, as always. Very, very dependable player, number 6 on the team. And for the other two, RKNY being able to get a 3K and that lockdown online, that's going to be a very much needed revitalization for THK.
Yeah, Timmy the turret never gets tilted. See? So you already have something, an advantage for your team anyway. But here we go. Timmy the turret goes down. Overdrive is on. Really scary, but in the end, RKNY more than prepared to take on that duel. No trade-off coming in from OGX. They take the site though, open for the plant, but again, THK really likes playing for retakes.
And Casper is going to be playing power as well. She really needs to stay alive here. Rolling Thunder invested to boot. Ash already being able to take Casper down is huge. Along with the lockdown, is crumbling here. Really phenomenal retake coming out of the side of THK. Now it's all down to just Japeeps playing inside spawn. After the defuse already having been stuck, and Ash with the advanced positioning is able to find that final kill as well. THK, they knew what they were doing. They were just playing for the retake here. They had the Rolling Thunder as well as that lockdown, and off the back of that, it's just going to be another clean round. And more than that, just Casper being forced to play onto site. Her not being able to reposition and set up that post plant with the orbital strike as well as the molly, it just denies the defuse from being prevented.
They go for the overtime here, Zach, and much needed, I would say, especially after that take. You have to also realize what the utility may be of the other team, and having the lockdown and the rolling thunder, the hero KDA knew exactly what their strength may be, and that's actually the retake potential that this can do. Iceling didn't even get to use the orbital strike yet, so it's a little scary for the side of Orangutan X, especially we're starting off again. They start off in a good round, they take the post plant here, but there was no control towards B main any longer, to a point where that rolling thunder and that lockdown will just perfectly connect to everyone, and it just created so much space right now for THK, honestly. Again, Zach, they have an orbital strike here. It's gonna be another round. OGX, utility-wise, a neural def and an orbital strike as well.
Yeah, they have a lot to work with in this particular round. 2 off of that rolling thunder as well. Orangutan, they have the tools with which they can win it, but they need to win this round. The pressure is on them financially. 3 of their players won't have the money to buy up after this particular one, and Twirly having already used that overdrive in that last round means that that's not going to be available in that eco round either, unless of course she gets an ace and a couple of ult orbs in the meantime. Either way though, it's going to be a bit of a repositioning coming out of the players on THK. They've put Jet Snowkey towards this arcade area instead, perhaps expecting that breed pressure once again, but instead of Orangutan, they're playing this very, very slowly this time around. Last couple of rounds, they've been conditioning their opponents for very quick hits onto this B site, but now, after cutting all of this noise, they're hoping that there's more pressure towards the opposite side of the map, but THK, they're not buying the bait.
And honestly, THK, they're just waiting as well to pull out the utilities. Once that wall comes up, you know it's gonna be that knife next. Now Twirly needs to clear it out. They go for a pop flash here, and still, the KO managed to survive. Already hopping out here is gonna be Hannah. They used up the orbital strike anyway, and Twirly finally clears it out. The angle has been isolated, and now it's all up to RKNY, who will also go down. OGX, surprise! Come in and take the kills.
Really nice plays coming out of them, and of course that was a very awkward interaction between Hannah and I believe it was Shirley. They were just both simultaneously flashed by Hannah's flashes. I am very blind if I could see the flashes myself, but yeah, at the end of it, you know, it is going to be Orangutan who take up quite a bit of space on the round as well. And they managed to hold on to all of their ults as well, because the orbital strike we saw, that was Ashes. That wasn't Casper, so she still had that heading into this particular round. They still have that rolling thunder and orbital strike combination, which just denies the Diffuserless to those players in real life.
I mean, Zach, they have the rolling thunder again. That's the right term. They have a rolling thunder here yet again that they can use. Olulu, though, on the other hand, gets a kill towards Chloe. And they go for a smoke onto A main. Just a little bit of a free fire here and there as well. This is just to create a little bit of a diversion for OGX, especially one has been killed already, and they don't want to make the same mistake as to what happened on that last round on the last map.
Yeah, if one goes down, you don't keep trying to push into that particular area of the map. Orangutan, they have learned their lessons quite well. They're very quick to learn from their mistakes, I gotta say. And now, after creating some havoc towards this B side, they look to go A side. Sorry, they look to go towards B instead, where there is still all of this pesky killjoy utility active. I think that Twirly's fast lanes have been very pivotal in helping them to make their way onto site. But this time around, that's gonna be all of the players detected off the back of that 0 points, and with 35 seconds left on the clock. Oh my god, Aruma's that was so pivotal.
That was the kill exactly they're looking for right now. A little bit of a cue towards OGX's side to hyper-rotate, but look at another team that's hyper-rotating. That's gonna be THK though. Burnt alive, roasted alive, but that opportunity to get up and actually use the orbital strike perfectly, it was just there for them to take the round itself, Zach.
Yeah, Casper doesn't have any smokes left, puts down the orbital strike. 2 players trying to play up close. They get caught in it, and it's just them stuck between, do I want to burn alive or do I want to die to
One enemy standing.
Really nice rerouting coming out of Orangutan. That could have gone very, very badly considering the time was so low. But Orangutan, they still play it to perfection. And now 6-2 here. That's going to trigger a timeout out of the hero KDA. And their buy is not looking very good.
Yeah, their buy is a little bit shattered right now. Even the economy as well.
Just a bit.
For the hero KDA. But I guess like Fracture is a map where if you have really good skills mechanical skills when it comes to sheriffs, for example, be another story, right, Zach? So it really depends on the players here and how they actually make use of this pistol rounds, because in the end they are very essential. It can still be pivotal to some degree, but especially if OGX is a type of team that would go to try and play for picks. And if you win those engagements, if you win those duels, especially using and utilizing those 0 points where you make it a raw firepower duel, you might be able to win still.
I think that head-to-head, firepower-wise, I feel like a lot of these players, they're just on pretty much even footing. But Orangutan, they're definitely using utility a little bit better in these last couple of rounds. Once again, I think it's like war flashbacks coming in. The sheriff's kill. Nope, it's just Twirly slaying out here. Doesn't even take a single speck of damage. 3 kills already on the round. And with that fast lane, once again, looking to charge into sight like a superhero that you really want. Ash through the smoke, trying to get a couple of headshots, but unfortunately not quite coming out. Now it's just Twirly who wants the ace. Shorty versus Judge, pulls out the Vandal instead, finds that 4th kill, and it's all down to Ash to be able to prevent this. Does deny the ace at the very least, but Peeps is there to find revenge, and Orangutan finds 7 to boot. Every time there's an ace on board, it's always a 4K. Every time.
Of course it would be a 4K. Why give the ace, right? Your teammate
RIP.
just wanting to post some TikTok reels, and instead Orangutan posts a normal TikTok, you know? Like, I don't want 5-kill reels. I want you guys on TikTok. And that's exactly what they do anyway. Shout out to the peeps. But anyway, going back here to the game, Zach, as well. A little one-sided in the hands of OGX. Now, my fear remains on the next following rounds. If THK makes a really good adjustment here, again, OGX a little on the table where they drop the ball in the middle, especially if they're getting overwhelmed.
Yeah, we haven't been seeing any real aggression coming out of THK so far. They've been just playing catch-up to how Orangutan is playing now. There's no good for a little bit of early exploration. In fact, a 3-player flank coming in for the side of THK. Tripwire gonna be broken. Camera spots out at least a couple. And Twirly's once again were down. Aruma as well caught between 3 players. That's gonna make it a 3-1. Make that a 2v4 retake attempt. The Chloe and Casper will be able to find huge kills. Chloe finding the second as well. The stun though, it's gonna be enough to beat Ash in the open. Now Casper, as always, ready for the clutch. 1v1 scenario with Anna still down and with only 1 enemy left. We'll have to stay and make it work. And Casper, 3 on the round, a huge clutch, denying the momentum shift coming in for THK and Orangutan. They take 8. Can we please see that again? Casper?
It was 10 HP, Zach. I
know.
I closed my eyes at that point. I was praying for Casper, and in the end, she managed to survive. The fact is, they were going for that rest towards the KO and actually stopped it in the middle. And if you wanted to have that 3v1 situation, they actually could have done it, but it was a little bit of the pressure coming into the teams. Again, you want to trade off your teammate, but if your teammate's also shouting it's 10 HP remaining, the pressure is just completely on. And Casper, with regards to that pressure, really performed quite well. But look at this, Aruma yet again on that flank. Always, always her.
Does deny Ash's Blade Storm, but aside from that, it's still going to be a 4v4 situation. In the meantime, Orangutan, they've taken advantage, been able to get the ace site for themselves. However, the ultimate economy is definitely in the favor of these players from the THK side. They do have that. They do have the Rolling Thunder, the lockdown, as well as drop control, so they can put this lockdown safely. Casper doesn't have the orbital strike either. They have the ultimates to work with for this retake. All they have to do is really make it work. And with everything being committed, they should be able to rush onto site.
And even an orbital strike, honestly, has been placed here. They have to fight it off. And immediately trades after trades. Now Hanna goes in as well with the judge to the face. That's towards Twirly. Time's ticking away. It's still a 1v1 as Chloe was going away. But Casper, yet again, the back-to-back round save.
Casper is just... Casper on smokes is just a hero. Casper in general is just a hero, don't get me wrong, but She's been looking incredible today in particular. So many rounds, just being able to be that difference maker for the team here. Chloe as well, coming back after vacation, revitalized. You know, you think you just chill,
Where did she
not
go?
get into Valorant. I'm not exactly sure. It's I saw her posting pictures, but I'm not. I forgot. Someone told me where it is, but I forgot. I think Thailand.
No wonder. No wonder she's
Yeah,
very
she's back
active.
fresh.
She's refreshed. Oh, what? It's already almost the first half here, but anyway, Twirly again. Fast lane is being used up here. They want to take a side completely, and it's actually very, very much open for them to take. THK, they want to play for that retake potential. Yet again, no other ultimates in play here.
Yeah, they tried to go for the gamble stack on the B side, but once again, Orangutan, either they had the read or they just got lucky, but either way, it's going to be a 5v5, and the weaponry for THK is not exactly what you'd call ideal. Already, RK and White going down, it's going to make it very difficult. Coming there, the Snow with the Vandal, along with Ash and Aper, and two of their own. On site though, it's going to be Casper and Twirly just finding these kills. 1v2 once again for Hannah. Does have one share for these distance fights. Finds that first one, but again, Aruma is there for that swing out. Only 46 HP, but that's gonna be all that she needs to be able to close it out. 10-2 half from Orangutan. This is the kind of domination that I was expecting on this map.
Yeah, definitely true. Now let's head into the panel to talk about what happened here on the first half. One-sided. What do you think about that, Tash and Donut?
I think that we really want to be able to see Wingman again, but welcome back here to the panelist desk, and I really want to talk about that match just now, because I think that on Fracture, while it is an Orangutan pick, they do dominate as a team on the map itself. And another thing is, I really want to talk about number one, OGX's strat. What do you think, Donut?
Yeah, there's a lot to see here for OGX. At first, they did stumble, especially during the 5th round. I thought that it would be a trend because that happened in Split. They were so dominating in the first few rounds, and then they stumble but not pick it up again. But this time it was different. They called for a timeout, and they had to rethink the strategy. At first, they were doing everything so fast, but then they realized if we don't take space, it's a round already lost for us. And I love that they would want to play slow. Aruma just anchor down, trying to stop any flank, and that is already information for them to try and push forward the site. And each and every time, THK, they're just wondering, oh no, our gamble stack here in B isn't really the right call, and OGX just really either got lucky or they just really read the map so well.
I'm thinking they really read the map so well, especially how they play for those post plants. Sometimes there are situations where THK want to go for this really interesting retakes. We have Twirly coming in maybe from drop, or even sorry, not Twirly. It was Snooki coming in from drop, or even like so many different sites. But it feels like for Orangutan, they understand where exactly to go. Now coming into the next half year, I think that when we want to talk about THK, I want to talk about RKNY's impact. What do you think?
Yeah, I think RKNY, she had a lot of kills during the defense, but I guess she also has to embody that flank, right? They all push together in Split, but this time, since it's a bigger map and you really need to pincer, she really needs to provide a lot of coverage for her utility. Either they entrust the flank to another person and then use all of her utility to protect the rest of the members, or just, you know, be that tank flank for the team. Well, I guess RKNY, she has a lot to give for the team, and I'm expecting her to perform just as well as she did during the defense.
And for now, I think we are ready for the second half. Let's take it away. Wingman, Zach, and Tay.
Hopefully Wingman...
Wingman answers.
I think he's awake.
He's awake, Zach. Wingman answers.
I think the boba definitely helped out. Or it could just be watching Orangutan play. They're on steroids right now on this game, and they're just absolutely slaying out. But before we get more of Wingman's insightful analysis, it's gonna be the pistol round coming in. THK on the attack this time around, and I think I would not be overstating it if I said that this is a must-win pistol for the side of THK. So far, they have been struggling a little bit when it comes to these aggressive pistol rounds, but already they're able to just swamp their way onto site off the back of this utility. Luma in her cage. Oh, that is such a nice nasty.
And also not only that, the traps are actually the 0 point connected to the Cypher. So really, this eliminates the traps itself on the side. 3v2 situation, though Iceland goes down. It seems like OGX, they still figured out the way how to make a retake happen. And that's exactly what happened right now. Like you said, Zach, it was very essential for THK to take. But again, momentum-wise, you can definitely tell it's in OG's side.
Yeah, I think that's like what. Let me do the math here. Yeah, I can count, thankfully. 7 rounds in a row for Orangutan. Just a dominating game coming out of them. It looks like, you know, that first game, they're playing with like kind of a new composition and roster. They had to like settle in. But the second one, it seems like the confidence is kicking in. And of course, Twirly and Casper, they're going to be the ones stepping up huge. I said it before. Twirly on Neon was one of the main driving forces for... Yeah, exactly. This is. I mean, we saw the peak of all KDAs yesterday with Kohaibi going 29-1, but this is pretty impressive considering that it is their first day really playing here on this particular Neon. But now back into this anti-eco, because they got the plant, they are gonna be able to force up on this particular gun. So it's not really a bonus already. Arcane and Ash between them able to find a couple of kills. Hano as well. This is looking like a round that suddenly swings completely in the favor of THK. Orangutan left with only
Spike
Chloe and
planted.
Aruma. They do have distractions, but oh, okay, nice spam.
Again, if you have a Spectre, you have a smoke, why not spam it, right? Bullet trails wouldn't be seen anyway. But in the end, there are a few people that's very low in HP here. And if Chloe
player
can actually
standing.
get a kill on both, it would be the big opening they're looking at. But instead, they're more than prepared. THK, they know the players are low. They team up, they buddy up, and instead make that their advantage instead. 11-3, and finally that force buy worked out in the favor of Hero KDA. But there's a bigger problem than this right now because they have to do what? 8 consecutive rounds, perfect consecutive rounds to actually make it to a tie.
Yeah, it's a bit of a challenge, but I'm sure they're up for it. I think the biggest component here that differentiates both of these teams is the difference that the duelist is having. Shorely's impact is just exponentially greater at this point than what Snow has pulled off. And Snow on that last map was doing a phenomenal job, and this time around he has to really activate. Being able to get that first kill is huge already. Just walking into CT here, it's shut down by Casper, though the trade is still gonna be there. Chloe fighting the kill as well. That's the spike! You do not take the spike into spawn and expect to really survive there. They do manage to pick it up and get a couple of kills to boot, instead choosing to make their way towards that B side. But that's gonna be weapons that OG can now pick up.
City is the way to go. I think that's gonna be for Aruma. She has a camera set up here. She even has a smoke in play if she wants to use that. But in the end, she has to still wait for Twirly here. And giving out both intel towards the Hero KDA right now will just make them move further away. They know they have the advantage as one is planting the spike here, but they have to answer back. Kind of goes for those double pop flash. Again, no follow-ups, playing for time, but Olulu, crossfire indeed. Not even a crossfire, but a double swing from the two players.
Yeah, just a little bit too much for Twirly to deal with. However, considering that Orangutan had nothing but pistols in the round, still
Not too
pretty
bad.
good. Yeah, not a bad equal, but now on their bye, they're able to get a little bit more confident. However, that's the kind of play that we need to see out of the Hero KDA. On these last two rounds, they've been hyper aggressive, and it's been paying off big for them. Just being able to get that first kill for free, basically. If they can continue, they're starting to build up momentum. If they can win this bonus round, sort of bonus round, they'll be able to buy up next, but they have 3 rifles because of how the anti-eco played out. It's going to be a huge boost to their confidence as well as the round differential.
Again, so far for THK, they're looking for the next following rounds yet again. Good trade on Casper on that. No one really, because THK is already going into the A. And now there's gonna be the shutdown immediately from OGX. Spray down indeed. Zach, again, if you have the traps, why not?
Now it's gonna be a Lulu in a 1v2 position. No one. Unfortunately, the gun has no bullets, so even if she spots Casper coming out of the smoke, not able to connect the shot, and just like that, Orangutan, they get to match points and are 1 round away from pushing this into a map 3. Like the adjustment, right? It's been very fast and heavy pushes. Of course, Arcane White on the enemy, they're able to find phenomenal value, but this time 3 players is too much for even her to deal with. And not the matchup, but just that ratty Cypher play coming out of Aruma. And I say rat as a compliment here, because her putting down a utility enables one of her teammates from drop to get that first kill, and on site they were not expecting her to get that second. You could just see Snow being like, "What? There's a player here? Oh
Yeah.
no!"
It's like watching chess pieces hiding inside smokes. I don't know what kind of chess is that, but it.
Speechless.
I don't know which version is that, but they're playing Valorant 2.0 at this point, Zach. So they're already done with Valorant 1. So they know exactly what they needed to do anyway. But seriously speaking, though, for OGX, again, THK, they're looking for momentum here. They're looking to stabilize at least their economy as well, because all throughout the rounds we're looking at, despite them getting 2 more rounds here and OGX having a hard time closing it off so far, you still cannot deny that the damage has been done in the economy here. You can see Snow would just go for the Blade Storm. Very powerful, I would say. Anyway, for a Jet, if she can actually explode and make something happen, that can be the cue for THK, or that can be the round.
She has found a couple of very nice Blade Storm kills in that first half, even if they weren't able to win the rounds. But depending on it right now, it's gonna be a very huge ask, like you mentioned. Snow has not been having the best game on the Duelist. I think part of that is just the disabling utility available on the opposite side from Orangutan. They've been very pivotal with it, but also just I feel like it's kind of like a lack of setup coming out of Olulu and Hannah. They don't look as coordinated as they usually do when it comes to them being able to set Snow up for kills. Now, honestly, looking at this, the thing that terrifies me most, it's not even like the 3 ultimates on the side of THK, but that judge in the hands of Aruma.
Very deadly gun, I would say. I'm laughing because I'm actually the same player, you know? Sometimes you just have to pull it out to make something work. And it seems like this is gonna be the entry now, as the Malcolm Man has been used. Perfect execution on the judge here for 1, but not good for 2. It's still a 4v4, and in the end, Hannah can still be revived here.
Yeah, they managed to get that player back up, which is pretty huge. They're holding down the ring. Was Casper already expecting the push? They're able to take down RK and Y. Chloe fighting 2 there is absolutely insane. It's all down to Lulu and Hannah, the initiators, to try and make this round work out, but the orbital strike and stun is too much for Hannah to deal with. It's just going to come down to Lulu. Has the Rolling Thunder, puts it down, but Casper once again just finds that timing, walks in, shoots her in the head, and that's going to be Orangutan taking Fracture 13-4. What a dominating statement being made.
Perfect timing even from the judge itself, really stopping Hannah to her toes here. But not only that, you know, even despite Hannah getting pinched down by the player, or Aruma to be specific, she still had the null command active. So in the end, the players for Orangutan wasn't able to use up their utilities, just raw duel after raw duel, and in the end, they still won those duels, very important ones as well. And we were talking about it a while ago, Zach. The pistol round already would set the tone, will set the pace for the team, and the Hero KDA not getting that pistol round is a little bit of, you know, having lesser rounds for them to actually get that advantage.
Yeah, they were struggling just a little bit on this particular map, but that's good news for us because we're going to be heading into map number 3, and this is going to be another map with rematch potential as well because they faced off before. But before that, let's talk about Fracture. Hi, Wingman. Let's throw it to our panelists while I just look at how cute Wingman is. Aww.
Thank you guys so much for that breakdown, as well as that cast. Now, me and Donut will be here to break this down for you. Now, I think there's a lot of things to talk about that map in particular, about how heavily, I would say, biased that map was toward Orangutan. They have played so much of this map, and it looks like their momentum wasn't stopping even on the second half. Now, my question was, why was THK not able to get onto site? What do you think?
I think it was really the lack of preparation. It seemed as if during the defense, they all were lumped together in one site, but they weren't able to really maximize the number of heads, the number of manpower that they had, spreading it across the whole site. And because of that, right, being lumped together, RKNY was able to get at least the top of the scoreboard for the team. But looking at this, we were really praising Twirly, but it was Casper at the end of the day, getting all of these almost clutches and delivering a 20-9 KD with a combat score of 311 for Brimstone and Fracture, that's a sight to see. But we also have to celebrate the likes of Twirly. Earlier on in Split, we didn't really see her perform, and we really didn't see her get all of those kills as the race. But this time as a Neon, she really did shine.
I think it all comes to her, I would say, how comfortable she is on this agent. And I think Neon is definitely, it shows a more, I would say, comfortable way of her to play. Now, when we saw the second half here, it was 10-2 in favor of Orangutan X. And I think that Orangutan's hold on defense is something that really helped them, really snowball forward. It was a very interesting sight to see 4 players on A side and just 1 on B in particular, leaving Aruma there just to hold on herself. And I think she did quite a good job just anchoring. And that is, I would say, the power spike that we can expect from Aruma on a map like Fracture. She wasn't able to deliver this sort of impact on Split, and I love seeing her setup. She's okay with playing so closely behind dice and just using her judge. At the same time, by the time everyone, the members of THK have gotten onto the site, the other members of Orangutan has made it onto the site itself. The way they play reticks as well is very important to talk about, because in that situation, you see a setup coming in from Casper alongside her teammates when she dropped down the orbital strike, and all the other members of the hero THK has to go toward main, and it was just a spray down altogether. So overall, I think it was just great communication and understanding of the map from Orangutan X. Now, as we move to Ascent after this, a lot of questions will be answered. We're gonna go for a quick break, and after this, we'll see whether or not which team will be going up and which team will be gone.
One enemy remaining. Team A. Bye-bye. One enemy remaining.
Prepare for hellfire!
One enemy standing.
I know exactly where you are.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
Just a scratch.
Down. Defender spawn. Last enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
One left standing. Like, off your feet!
While map number 1 split was a tug of war between Orangutan X and THK, but map number 2 swings heavily in Orangutan X's favor. Will THK manage to bring it back in map 3 is the question for now. Tash Bunny here alongside Donut, your panelists for today, and let's talk a bit about Ascent. What do you think can we expect from both these teams on this map, Donut?
Yeah, I love that Turley and Aruma really showed up here in the map of Fracture, but Ascent is going to be quite a different story because we saw Chloe fall a little bit short in the fade during the first half, but she did show up. She did throw in a couple of precise utilities, and that's why they won a couple of rounds. But this time, I think that the push and pull now between the two teams, or between OGX, would be who would actually play the role of Sentinel? Is it going to be Chloe or is it going to be Aruma? And I think that will play a big impact to this decider map for OGX. Or at the same time, THK, if they get their strats together, if they did prepare for Ascent, just like they did in Split, then I think we have a closer match or a closer game here in the map of Ascent.
Okay, so if we look at stats, I mean, both teams did play these 3 maps prior, and Ascent was their last designer map. And Ascent, the last time they played, it was 13-5 in favor of Orangutan X. Now, we had this similar conversation about Split, where Orangutan X was able to win. At the same time, we were sort of hoping a closer match on Fracture. That didn't happen. Now, given the fact that this map is very defender-sided, what can THK do to be able to make it big on this particular map?
I think play the same that they did in Split. They were all just really playing together. The utilities were just so pristine, and whenever Hannah would throw in all of the flashes right as the sky, I think that's all. Sorry, that was Olulu. Olulu as the sky, right? Just really mowing them down and bullying them with the utility. I guess that could really make a lot of difference. It's just that I think apart from just the agent composition, they must know how to try and counter this experienced team of OGX. Altogether, in the map of Ascent, they did lose already, and the adjustments that they have to make for this specific map might go a long way. It could be either agent composition, how they position themselves within the map, or even if they opt for those retakes, just like they did in Fracture, they have to make it cleaner as much as possible.
Yeah, and I think if we watched day 1 where we had, I think it was the Hero KDA versus Global Esports Phoenix, I believe, they had played this map. I mean, THK had played this map, and it was honestly a quite heavily, I would say, skewed in favor of THK. And this map in particular was the map that I saw very good teamwork coming in from Hannah as well as RKNY. And coming forward as well, when you have the combination of Olulu as well as Snooki, Olulu moves around with Snooki toward mid side, either from top cat. Their lurks have been really good, especially on defense. And because of Olulu enabling Snooki was the reason why they do really well on this map. I'm not sure how much they've learned from the last time they played together. I honestly a lot better from the team as well for THK, but Orangutan X for them, given the fact that their name is quite a big name, there's a lot of, I think, pressure on their shoulders as well to perform, given the fact that in open 1, they were the team to make it out on top. But moving into these setups here, I think this is something that we can already expect from both these teams. Is we Chloe running that fade again, maybe? Or I actually don't hate if, say, Chloe were to run I would say, Reina with the Jet, because I think that on this map it can work if they wanted to play aggressive and take full control of mid.
Yeah, I think the fade does work for them, but let's see.
Oh, there we go.
At least you got your wish. Reina is in for Chloe, and that combination between Turley might make all of the difference, I guess. Now, given this Olulu and Snooki duo, right? I guess Aisling and Hannah really also have to play together. RKNY, she does need to function on her own as the Killjoy, compared to how we saw her play the map of Fracture. They were all just lumped together, and against the firepower of OGX, they were just really bruised, damaged, and when it came down to the push, it's as if they couldn't do anything else about it. So now I'm very excited to see what happens in Ascent, especially this is a do or die match for both of the teams.
Yep, I completely agree with you. So without wasting any more time, let's pass it over to our casters Tay and Zach. Show us how it's done.
Whoop. Map 3 it is, guys. Ladies and gents, welcome back here in Open 2. We are finally heading into a very, very heavy default setup called Ascent that we have as a map here, Zach. And last time they met in this exact map, 13-5 was the score in favor of Orangutan.
Yeah, but last time it was a mirror matchup as well. This time we kind of have some things being shaken up here with that Reyna pick coming out of Chloe. Now, honestly, Chloe on Ascent on Killjoy is on one of the best plays I've seen in the history of VCT Game Changers APAC, but Chloe on Reyna, that's something new. And while it is very exciting, it is also slightly terrifying because Chloe on Killjoy is something very dependable. This is the X factor. And Orangutan, they are going to have a little bit less info utility since they don't have that KO anymore, but instead they are getting firepower. And I gotta say, Chloe has been on fire today.
Yeah, exactly. If a player is on fire, why not put her on another duelist role? And anyway, she performed really extremely well on map number 1 a while ago, using up the Reyna here despite losing the round or the game towards THK. But let's see how they will falter yet again on a rematch here on Ascent. Again, probably OGX is waiting for something here while they were, chilling, and while Chloe's just crawling her way around the spawn here, Zach. Let's just talk about the teams itself. How do you feel about the composition here? Aside from, we talked about Chloe already, we have a double duelist yet again for OGX. THK, they still stick to that double innie.
I think that it's gonna be a lot of pressure on Snowky's shoulders. I think that on maps that she's able to pop off on that Jet, those are the games that THK are able to win very convincingly. On that Jet, as a solo duelist on this particular map as well, she has a lot of pressure on this defensive side. The
30
sooner she can
seconds
get an
left.
operator online, the easier it is gonna be for the rest of the team to just hold strong and be able to defend. I feel like we might be seeing a remake of this round because half the players just seem to be disconnected. But aside from that, I just think that for the side of Orangutan, they are starting off on attack. So I think that that double duelist
10
setup might
seconds
be
left.
helping out. I just got a message from production. Apparently we are restarting the game because some of the players are having technical difficulties. So
At
hold
least
on.
it's still a 0-0, right? Could be worse. Could be in the
Oh, you
middle of the
jinxed it.
game and could be in the middle of a round anyway. So we're just waiting for a re-roll on when it comes to the game itself. And again, just for the people who are watching and just for the people who just hopped in right now on the stream, since you can see us, Wingman is actually asking, who are you in favor of? Is it gonna be Orangutan or the hero KDA? Do you actually have what do you call this? A bet or like a guess who will win this map number 3?
I think that
Prediction?
I think that is most likely gonna be Orangutan. Conditionally, if Snowky doesn't drop like a 30 bomb, because I've seen her do that. Snowky, when she pops off, she's just incredibly dangerous. But I think for Orangutan, they're starting off on attack. They have that double duelist. I feel like after watching Iruma on Killjoy on that last map, or rather Cypher on that last map, she's finally settled into her Sentinel roleplay capabilities, and she can fully lock down a site by herself on defense. I am just terrified as to what exactly Chloe as well as Twirly are going to be bringing to the table, because just dealing with an angry Jet is one thing, but dealing with an angry Jet and Arena, I don't fancy
That's
that.
another, right? Two problems. Too many of a problem, I would say, if they actually pop off for this next map that we have. But we've seen Twirly and Chloe on map number 1. Chloe definitely shined during map 1. Map number 2, though, you cannot not say that Twirly was going crazy as well on that map. I think I already made a conclusion that this might be Twirly's favorite map. I will ask her later on. But every time she plays Fracture, every time she's on that Neon, you have the Filipino buff, you have the Filipino agent. As a Filipino non-biased caster myself, I would
Completely
say
unbiased.
the buff was completely on her side there. But here on map 3, if they can continue actually that momentum, seriously speaking though, the momentum they got from map number 2, which was very, very one-sided, they can actually still get and manage to pull off this third map. It's very essential. I mean, how much is the prize pool in this event right now, Zach? And to say the least, you get to qualify up until, you know, the next LCQ you have, and then you have Elite.
Yeah, I think for Orangutan, they already made a very deep run in that first playoffs, right? They were the second place winner. So them being able to make it to playoffs this time around as well, and if they can win this match, all they need to do to be able to qualify for elite is to make playoffs in open three. They don't have to do anything else. All they have to do is chill and make it to open three. So I think that that's definitely going to be their focus. Of course, the further they go, the better, because there's always seeding issues and stuff. But apart from that, Orangutan, they are looking very, very strong this year in general. Last year, I think when they came out of the gate, they were one of the teams that made elite immediately. And this year around, the first one didn't exactly go their way. They had a couple of roster changes coming in. But even with 3 new players on the team, I am very impressed with how they're playing. And now they have Chloe back. Chloe's always like a slay player, always just being able to like hit those headshots. I need to know the kind of aim training that she does. Hi, Wingman. I see you. Do you have anything to say?
That's what he said.
I
planted
agree.
the
He's
spike.
very good points.
Yeah, I mean, Wingman is a very, very good analyst, and whatever Wingman says, I truly believe. As I have him, but not the spike. It's with the players right now who are playing anyway. And while we are waiting for the rollback anyway, I'm seeing a lot of supporters from OGX here on the chat. And we also see, obviously, players who, or even viewers who really support specific players as well. Like, protect Twirly at all costs is a brand new hashtag nowadays, guys. To everyone who's watching. What else is the new hashtag for today? Hashtag Chloe Go Kill. Clutchper is the new name. It's not Casper anymore. We changed it up already. We decided on it.
Yeah, this is just I always like the OG fans. They're always like so lively in chat. And huge shout out to everybody who's here to support their players. Orangutan, this is like familiar territory for them, but I would like to highlight the Hero KDA here a little bit as well. You know, last Open, they barely missed out on making it here. And to make it this far with one player who has like, this is like their first tournament, right? Like for RKNY. So her being able to make it this far, and the team itself, I don't think they're a signed roster either. So they're just kind of like chilling together. I don't know if they have like a team org really backing them. I'm not sure. Maybe the Hero KDA is an org and it's not just like a really weird team name that people came up with. I don't know anymore. APAC teams have like the weirdest, coolest names. So I digress. My point is that it's really commendable that they managed to make it this far. And to take a map off the team that was the grand finalist last time, that's pretty commendable, because Orangutan, I feel like they had a very flawless run last time, with the exception of their lower bracket games against Sapphire and, of course, SMG doing SMG things.
But you do have to agree that they still have a lot to polish here,
Oh, yeah, for
especially
sure.
if you are planning to, you know, obviously we have our predictions as well, and it's very much obvious who is currently the strongest team right now in the circuit. And if you want to go up against a team like SMG, you have to keep everything at tabs. You have to keep everything clear on a table here and really polish every play that you can think of, because it's a very, very difficult to be position to be within. But at the same time, one problem at a time, right? They're still playing this third map right now. We're still looking at the bracket shifting, and you just never know. Okay, SMG is playing right now. They might lose. Who knows? I'm not watching the stream.
I mean, anybody could find an upset. I mean, I don't know about SMG, but like at least in this particular match, anybody could find an upset.
True.
You know, a lot of predictions in the chat were like, you know, OG 2-0s, OG clears and stuff, but just them being able to take split despite starting off slow, that was like what the Hero KDA really needed to jump into the series. Sure, Fraction didn't go that way, but I feel like the true sign of success for a team is when they are down maps, they are down momentum, but they're just able to swing back into things. Those are my favorite kind of games. We saw it with Fnatic at Lock-In. We saw it with Paper Rex at the VCT Pacific Finals. Who cares if they're 2 maps ahead? There's still 3 maps available. Just win your way through, and they don't even need to win 3 maps here. You just need to win 1 map. And like our Alice did point out, this is do or die here. You win, you have a rematch against one of the teams that you faced off against before. You lose, you unfortunately cannot play until 2 months from now. So you better work, basically. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's a long time to, I mean, at least learn from the mistakes and polish, right? We still have open 3, if I'm not mistaken, from the tournament setup that we have, and then you still have LCQ, you still have Elite again. So really a lot at stake here. And to be fair, to be honest though, for Game Changers, at least we have this kind of circuit already that at least for the time being, the entirety of the year, there's something that the pro teams, the pro players have to look out for, especially the orgs as well, supporting them. And it's a big factor coming in here, knowing also from the very, very, very start when FSL started this kind of movement as well, until it became Game Changers, up until the very end. It's just nice to see that support coming in, not only from the orgs itself, but also from the developers of the game. So big shout outs to Riot, by the way. And to our production right now, we're not here without you guys, and Wingman wouldn't be here without you as well. And Zach, which is all the way. What time is it there, Zach, right now? Since the game isn't starting. 3
That's
p.m.?
pretty early. No, 1:15.
1:15 in the afternoon?
Yeah,
See?
it's
Imagine
like sangria weather.
Imagine that, guys. Zach has been casting since 5 in the morning. Start the game
No, it's not that
casters.
early. It's
No,
not,
I'm
it's
just
not that early.
kidding.
It's not that early.
I'm just making them feel bad. Nah. But
I mean,
anyway,
9 a.m. feels like 5 a.m. to me, so you can say
the
that.
gamer
it's okay.
time, I would say.
The gamer
You
hours,
still,
yeah.
that's true.
DJ hours.
I live in the Philippines, but I still sleep at 6 in the morning. So I have your time as well, Europe time anyway. Whatever, gamers unite in the end. And right now, as of the moment, of course, we're still waiting for our teams right here. A bit of a technical issue, but nevertheless, we're just gonna jump into a very short break. When we come back, we promise we take you the match, which is map number 3 for OGX versus the hero KDA. This is Tira and Zach. See you guys in a few.
Shot to death last night. Where's my cup of coffee? I was dreaming something bad last night. Can't you hear what I'm saying? One gunshot, and I forgot to look at you, to look at you, to look at you, to look at you. Two gunshots, and my thoughts. We're not with you, we're not with you. We're not with you, we're not with you. You were shot to death last night, and I thought of someone else. Didn't care about your life last night, at least less than about his. All our dreams were shot to death last night. I see the clock stand still. Nightmares at your heart sometimes, but this is unbelievable. One gunshot, and I forgot to look at you, to look at you, to look at you, to look at you. Two gunshots, and my thoughts. We're not with you, we're not with you, we're not with you, we're not with you.
Welcome back, everyone. Wingman is still awake, and we are ready to go ahead with map 3. Sorry about the delay, but it is an APAC if there are technical difficulties. Let's face it. I'm Zach, and with me here, once again, is the wonderful Terrar. I don't know, I just like saying it like that. But anyway, to recap for those who have missed it or who are just tuning in, map number 1 split was taken by the hero KDA after a very back-and-forth game, 13-11, I believe. Map number 2 was, in lack of other words, an absolute stomp coming out of team Orangutan X. They were able to just pop off. And map number 3, we are once again gonna be seeing Ascent, a map where they've been able to 13-5, I believe, the same team in the past. And with their new double duelist comp, can they do it again?
Ooh, we're seeing Arena being pulled out here yet again in the hands of Orangutan X and in the hands of Chloe yet again being played out here. But nevertheless, here, Zach, the meta is ever changing when it comes to Valorant, and it's just nice to see, to say the least, especially in a map, for example, we're used to seeing already, which is Ascent, and sometimes plays can become a little stale when you just, you know, recover, rinse, repeat the process that we have, and it just boils down to execution on how perfected the execution was. But having and throwing in that Reina on the basket makes it a little bit more like, what will happen next? Where is the Lear coming in? Is it gonna be a lurk Reina? Is it gonna be together with the team? But from map 1 a while ago, we saw Chloe was really like playing with the team as well.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like a lurk Reina is even scarier than the normal Reina, because at least the normal Reina, you expect her, you know, you're like, okay, fine. Even if she gets a kill, we can at least try to trade, find another kill, but a lurk Reina is just absolutely terrifying. Like, that's the stuff that gives me nightmares in my sleep. That and, like, seeing double Viper Harbor walls on Pro. But that's just me. Anyway, we're going to be heading into the pistol round right now. Orangutan, they have that double duelist. They're going to be starting off on attack, which is a definite plus for them. Maybe that's why they went for this team comp, and already, you can see 2 players from the side of THK towards mid looking to push ahead maybe, but Casper already putting down that smoke towards mid will deny that additional bit of extra information. The players themselves are looking to head into this A site, and it does feel like a retake setup out of the side of THK. They have that Killjoy utility, probably looking to do a little bit of chip damage in the process, but Orangutan, they have a free site.
I mean, Turley already has a blanket on her arms already. A while ago, that wasn't there. So, next up, of course, we are going to be looking at them trying to plant a spike right now, especially in the hands here of the Deeps. They have to fight, though, because the retake is already bound to happen as they started to hop in and hop off. That's going to be Stokey getting a kill here. And again, obliterating players left and right. That's exactly what THK needs right now. And Ruma to go down as the final kill here. And THK secures the round.
Yeah, Orangutan, they usually set up better crossfires, but this time around, I guess they were like, okay, free side, let's just go peek, guys. And THK, they take the full advantage of that so far. I think that on every single map that we've seen between these two teams today, it's been Orangutan who have won that first pistol round, kind of setting the tone for the rest of the game here. But this time around, it's finally the hero KDA waking up, and Ululu in particular, not just being able to get the information off that 0 point, but finding 2 frags of her own, just being that dangerous entry KO that you play as a pseudo duelist. That's what you want to see.
Let's see here on our second round, though, as they jump in and really try to utilize the RS right now, but no one really to hit as OGX. They move a little further, no damage at all as well, but they're quite aware. These are warning shots, Zach.
Yeah, you hear that Ares, they're immediately like, you know what, guys, we might have started off towards B, but I don't like it. This doesn't feel nice to me. Let's just go towards the other side of the map. So you see them looking for that A push instead. Once again, the retake Killjoy setup coming in. It is going to be smoke coming in. Will enable Twirly to maybe get a little bit more control if necessary. But the site itself, it's going to be empty. So at the very least, Orangutan, they should be able to get a little bit more money in the bank. Although already, you can see 2 players towards heaven just waiting to jump in.
For the time being, at least they get the plant here, especially on an eco disadvantage. Snokey goes for the dash in with the help of Hana. They cleared out Jenny as well. 1 by 1, OGX yet again falter on the round, which they wanted to try a post plant here, but then Zach, the disadvantage when it comes to the guns, you just cannot discount it anymore.
Yeah, it was just a flawless retake coming in for the side of the hero KDA. Very, very well played by them. And Orangutan, you know, the problem for them is that they know they have this A side for free. However, they have to be able to hold when that retake comes in. And by playing it for a retake, there's just so much utility available. The recon from Hannah, the flashes from Olulu, and of course RKNY just chipping away at HP and shield alike with those nano swarms and to me the turret. It's a little bit difficult for OG to really make their way onto that site, and the fact that RKNY is able to hold on for so long, it just enables this 3-player stack towards this B side. And again, look at this push coming in.
Stack it is, but they're just really waiting. What intel, what info? Because they hop out of this. This recon completely shattered immediately. And they were able to get away with 1 kill already in their pockets here for OGX. They go for a little bit of a repositioning. And the same goes for THK. Again, they know that this might be a push. They anticipated it. They were able to get value out of it. And just good decision making from OGX to keep it a little safer side.
Spike itself heading towards a short right now. The read is there from THK though, so even though they're a player down, they're still going to be able to be available for this quick retake if necessary. We still see a player under heaven here, and Chloe already being brought down to such a low HP off the back of the Thanos one. Now it's going to be that flash. However, Chloe, that's the thing about playing Arena. You get that first kill, that's going to be an overheal that you can easily get down. Ash with the sight though, able to at least deny the flash before he immediately trades things out. Now Hannah in a 1v4, 2 of these players are incredibly low. However, that lurk from Aruma is just a little bit too much for her to deal with. And Orangutan, they find their first round finally and hold on to 4 guns in the process. So all things considered, very nice for them.
Really, when it comes to this replay though, like Chloe getting away with half HP after that nano swarm, you would have you would have thought, I would say, that for the time being, if she was displaced, there's going to be a certain reaction from the team. But you saw there was a smoke also on Jenny that Casper was basically just really holding down. And Aisling, I mean, sorry for that. But it was Aisling waiting patiently on that smoke. But then again, if you hop out, it's just going to be 4 man trying to punish you as well. 4 people with guns trying to punish you. 2-1. We have an Odin in play. That's in the hands of Hannah. Really gauging upon this Odin play as well. You know, I don't know about how the others feel about this, but honestly, it's fun seeing an Odin in action, and at the same time, it scares the enemy team, and then you see them react to it and actually change up something, you know, like make it something creative just to punish the Odin.
I mean, Hannah is also tucked away in this very ratty corner. Rounds have been made or broken off the back of whether she do check that corner or not. Now though, Hannah kind of caught in this pincer. Close to the trigger, this is playing. And Molly not quite clearing her out, and already being able to find that first kill is huge. Chloe though, there for the refrag, and Japeeps will finally shut down the menace that is Hannah. 3v3 scenario right now. Japeeps one off of that Hunter's freebie. Might be a huge ult if she can really get into play here. Of course, Casper, with that positioning, finds that first crucial kill to bring that numbers advantage back into OG's hands.
She also prepared or prepped up that paranoia already. Aisling, on the other hand, catches Casper here. 1v1 situation. They have to fight if they want to make it happen right now, especially on B main a while ago. Lulu versus Japeeps. Japeeps has to hold. She still has a recon as well, and a good angle to play out from Japeeps. Secures the round, and still OGX 2-2.
Really nice repositioning coming out of the peaks there. Did have the perfect theory, but her just being able to find the timing on that swing, that was good work coming out of it. Remember, this was the buy round for the side of THK. Now they're going to be put in a bit of an economic rough spot once again. I just saw Bucky on Hannah. Hannah is really pulling out the big guns for this particular game. But either way, for the hero KDA, even if they don't exactly win this round, it's not all bad because they will have multiple ultimates ready to go in that next round. Snow already looking to get a bit aggressive here, not caught by the utility, and there's going to be 2 players pushing up. Lulu with the Sheriff finds that first one, the second one as well. Ooh. Oh my god, these Sheriffs are absolutely doing work.
This is what I was talking about even on map number 2 a while ago. Put Sheriffs on the hands of these players. They can still manage to really get pickoffs quite fast. But Twirly shuts down RKNY already and they hold onto the site. This opens up B for them to plant the spike as well. 3v2 situation. Twirly knows there's gonna be one more. That is gonna be the Sova Hunter's Fury being used already in the hands of the Peeps. But yet again, no info, no intel. Ultimates from the KO. The setups is there. Caught off guard, but in the end, Iceling wins the engagement. 5 HP remaining onto her. It's gonna be 3 people trying to push the Peeps here. Olulu already defusing the spike. THK, it was a Drifty.
They managed to win it too, and it starts with those headshots coming out of Olulu towards main. Can we get a replay of that, please? Because that was absolutely insane. Now, see, that was a thrifty round, and because they were able to win it, that is going to enable Snowkey to set up that operator as well for the next round. And they hold on to most of their ultimates. They didn't invest that null command, I believe, but apart from that, they have everything else to work with, and that's just massive coming out of this team.
I mean, you want to level out the playing field, right? You're already onto pistols. Why not make it more excruciating for the side of OGX? Pop the ult from the KO. It's early in the rounds anyway, and she can grab that yet again. This Odin, though, will do some of the punish. Not enough to take on the kill, but look at that. Timmy the turret in the action.
Once again, Timmy the turret just being able to find these kills along with Olulu here. Finally, Casper being able to find the trade here, but numbers advantage remains firmly in favor of the side of THK. Casper does have from the shadows if she wants to make a play towards that A side, but still with the numbers advantage being so firmly poised towards THK, it does seem like the side of OG, they want to get a couple more information bits, maybe a frag or two before they really decide where they want to go. Sova Joan, with that nerf duration, not exactly going to find anything, but one spam from Hannah, that's going to be able to take down Aruma. She's like 2 bullets on the Odin.
She doesn't know this, though. I'm not quite sure if the gun was dropped completely, but must have been not heard. Hannah ready to take on the action. She knows there's gonna be the double swing to face off the Odin, but nonetheless, they were prepared. Anticipation is key, and that crossfire is gonna be the death from the players of OGX. 4-2.
I can feel Hannah. That was my kill. Why to me the turret? Why do you do this to me? But really nice plays coming out, and of course this recon from Hannah was phenomenal. It completely distracts Casper, trying to make sure that she's not in range of it, and off the back of that, it's just a free kill for Snow to be able to swing out and get the shot. They didn't have to use any of their ultimates, and now it's gonna be Orangutan on the back foot here. Not much economy to work with. Twirly already did use the Blade Storm in that last round, so that's not gonna be a factor in this particular one. In fact, the only real weapon available is gonna be that Guardian, and I guess the Stinger for Chloe. So the duelists, they have a lot of work to do. Right off the bat, the recon, it doesn't really spot on anything, although they just give away that there is mid presence on Orangutan. This default, it does seem to be shaping up towards a push through short towards A.
You have an Odin, and then you have an operator. What problem does THK want to bring it towards the side of OGX? But it seems like that's gonna be the first shot, hitting Casper there. Snowkey, on the other hand, 20 HP remaining. She moves away from that battle, but in the end, again, they're anticipating this plant of the spike. They still have a knife to play around here, canceling utilities here and there. Olulu gets the kill, and Hannah already with a wall bang, going crazy with that Odin, and now the lurk also goes down. Japeeps, in the end, with a stinger, not much you can do.
Does find one at the very least, but THK, they managed to win the round. And once again, in these eco rounds, right, your goal is to take down players as well as make them use their ultimates. But the strategy that THK is running towards this A site, this full 5v4 or whatever retake policy, like, it's okay if they get the site. We have the utility retake. It is working out for them in spades, and now Snow has the Blade Storm active to boot. She's already been such an incredible menace with this operator. In a dicey situation, she can now pull out the knives to boot, and this is the Snowkey that the side of THK really needed. They're looking absolutely dominant so far on this map. As soon as that operator came out, it's just been constant confusion from OG. Do I want to go towards the Odin, or do I want to go towards the op? And neither answer is very nice.
Yeah, the two choices, we would say, as we talk about it, you try to go B main, you get faced by the Odin. You try to go mid, you have an operator set up. You try to go A, you would have Killjoys trying to set up as well, or maybe even in B site even. So again, once you have a double innie here even, at the end of the day, Olulu is just gonna react onto the entry of the players, throw in the knife, and because of that diversion, and while OGX is trying to enter the site, they wouldn't mind the knife anymore. Now they have to fight with raw firepower. And again, if you get phased by the Odin and the Op, it's really gonna be difficult, really difficult for you to make an entry happen. You have that fear that an Odin or an operator is waiting on you, but in the end, you are the attackers.
Now the orangutan, once again, they're gonna be having the buy coming in. They also do have, they are close to a couple of ults of their own, and the Empress already active. Aruma won off of that lockdown. It might be what they need. And look at the conditioning play that THK have pulled off. They've been saying like, A side is very nice and juicy, guys. Nobody plays here. It's just free for the taking, which is gonna trigger orangutan to possibly go in for a B split. Drone information denied as well off the back of that beautiful zero point one. It's just gonna be close coming through across the board. Here already picking up a few players to quite a bit. Snow with the operator fighting too as well, and now it's just down to Aruma and Casper. Casper with low HP already being shut down. Aruma in a 1v5 finds the first though. Still has the lockdown to play with even if the spike isn't available. Spots out the head of that player. But in this position, gonna be stuck between 3 different angles, and the off angle from RK and Y is too much for her to deal with. 6th round coming in for THK and Orangutan. They are shattering under the pressure here.
Yeah, you don't have the problem with the Odin and the Op anymore, and then you see Olulu. That's the thing. She knows how to isolate the fights itself when she goes into an aggressive position. For example, what we saw a while ago, she managed to catch people from OGX really off guard in a position where obviously she had the knife. She knew exactly how many players are coming in. Not only that, intel is coming in as well from the respective teammates. It's just information above information, and how to play around that information is the key towards THK really winning rounds after rounds here. Again, Zach, OGX, they're gonna be stuck in a position they're not comfortable with, especially in the guns itself. Casper and Japeeps only has a Sheriff to play around here, and the others, the Spectre and the Bulldog.
A little bit of a, well, quite a bit of a weapon advantage, I gotta say. Aruma does have that lockdown, but unless it's going to be Orangutan getting a couple of picks, I don't think we're going to be really seeing that coming into play in this particular round. Orangutan, they're going for a little bit of a different strategy this time around. You see them put pressure towards B main or A main or A short, but now there's going to be 2 players towards mid instead. Already Chloe with the Spectre just being flashed, tagged by the recall and everything, and the kitchen sink being thrown at these B main players. Really have a power position. Unfortunately, the Odin is just more powerful. Chloe finally finding a trade here onto Lulu. Aruma as well with that lurk play, being able to find that is huge. 3v3 right now. I don't think they can really get Lulu up, but Snow with the operator still being happy.
A little bit of a diversion here. They're waiting for that null command to go away so they can entry. And not other than that, Chloe can also dismiss. But look at this scenario now. 12 seconds remaining to plant the spike. No chance at all for Aruma unless she makes an imaginable or unimaginable play right here, right now. Again, Zach, you have the players of THK ready up with anticipation. Good pop on the ult from Olulu because of that, literally OGX didn't want to try to come in. Again, Chloe cannot dismiss because the null command has been popped.
Really, really good play. And of course, the knives from Snowkey, we talked about it before. When she gets going, she gets going. And her and Alulo are being the driving force for this team right now. There's just no space for Orangutan to work with. The rare times they do get the site, there's just so much utility available for a retake. And talking about available utility, RKNY has had this lockdown for like 5 rounds now. It's just like, we don't need a lockdown to retake. We got the Odin and the operator and like my flashes and the fragments.
For next game.
Saving for finals, grand finals at this rate. Yeah, map 4.
Yeah, saving for map 4. If you don't need it, why use it anyway, right? But that lockdown has been there already. I mean, Aruma also has a lockdown here in the hands of OGX. Can be a powerful take, I would say, if they use it correctly, knowing there's no Hunter's Fury to deny it anyway or any fashion. But it seems like OGX, again, a side for the taking. Snowkey trying to gauge on that operator yet again. Twirly already trying to come up from heavens above, trying to catch them off guard. This might be big. Twirly goes for the double, and now for the third. No way!
One enemy
She lost
remaining.
bullets right at that point, but already damage has been done. OGX secures the round.
And they were ready for it as well. They expected that lockdown to come in, so immediately see that pincer push. Twirly, of course, through the smoke, being able to find 3 kills is huge. But even then, they were just pushing towards that lockdown. She brought enough time for the rest of the team to make their way around. And despite the huge lead that THK have, it's still going to be them calling a timeout. Because the thing is, right now, they're on defense. And defense has historically always been a very clever-sided map. I feel like they want to make sure they get every single round possible because Orangutan, they do not mess around on defense. This is the map where I think they hold the history for the best comeback in Game Changers history. The first half was 1-11 when they were attacking, and they came back to take it to overtime and win like 14-12. So yeah, you do not mess with Orangutan on Ascent. This is like their home ground.
They need a little bit of a timeout here for the side of the hero, KDA. They're talking about they heard us, Zach. They used the lockdown, especially and specifically for you, since you were asking for it. Yeah, but again, OGX, they found a solution. If you think about it, you face up against the players of THK for consecutive rounds. They keep 5 consecutive rounds to be exact. They keep that momentum rolling. They keep the guns coming in. The economy is doing amazing on their side. Everything is just going in their favor. And then you have OGX trying to extract all that intel, all that info, and maybe making this micro adjustments that can work out. This other round we saw worked out in their favor, and maybe they're learning from those mistakes already.
Quick adaptation is the key. And this time around, it's just going to be Hana with the Odin slamming it down. Not quite able to get any kills, but just takes a decent amount of damage. Now it's going to be 3 players on this B side, though. Once again, 1 into Cubby. A lot of value has been found by Hana in this position. This time, though, it's going to be Lulu trying to make the same play here. Orangutan, they seem to have gotten the number, though. They do have a lockdown of their own to be able to try and take sight off the back of. But for that, they need to find a pick first, and that does seem to be the call here, because so far in all of these 5v5 retakes, they have just been shut down brutally.
And if you have like a waiting time, for example, as well, for the respective teams, you have that recon coming up available yet again. You have, for example, this knife coming up again, and it gives out intel, you know. And if OGX decides a little much more later, they have to be careful, because this double ini setup that currently THK is playing is really going towards their favor. Soki needs to reposition herself, especially with this operator as well. Aisling, on the other hand, she finds Chloe here. Not enough to get the kill, but Hana, yet again, prepared to go for the Odin and just hide. It's a bait and switch, prepared in the hands of OG. It's still 3v2, now down to the classics. 11 seconds to plant the spike. They have a lockdown in play here if they want to use it up. But again, they need to plant the spike. The jump is there, but the plant is gonna be there, Zach. It's not enough, though, for them to actually take the round.
That was super well played by RKNY and Aisling. Twirly, of course, pulling off absolute heroics, shutting down the Odin and the operator. But in the end, it's just the timing on the jump through heaven. You see a little bit of a blitz coming through as well from one of the Orangutan players, and it's just too much for them to contend with. Hana doing quite a bit of damage before finally being shut down. Time was just too much pressure. Ash, as well as I believe that it was RKNY, they find the perfect timing for that 2v2 push, and they just find it. Now, 1 more round left. Orangutan, they have enough money to be able to buy off, except for poor Aruma, but they do have the ultimates to work with. However, well, they get a chance to use them, because so far Sophie has just been like delete with that operator.
Yeah, true. Every pickoff counts, and for OGX, again, the slow movements that the pacing that they're setting right now here, they get stopped on their toes once that initiators are having their ease up already, the recon or maybe the knife even. But look at this, it's gonna be a fast take yet again. They plant the spike already. Chloe was able to pick up on one, and now the knife doesn't hit, but Chloe is there to the rescue. It's gonna be the 4 kill and maybe even the ace, but no, Hana stops her on their toes with the Odin shots coming in. In the end, OGX, They do it fast, they take the round,
Switching sides.
and finally, 8-4. Zach, I have to throw this to the panelists right now to talk about what just happened right there. Tash and Donut, please do take it away.
What a first half that we're watching here on Ascent. Thank you very much, Zach and Tay, for that amazing, amazing cast. Now, let's talk a little bit about what we've seen. Now, if we go back historically, not that historically, just a few days ago, rather, where we saw OGX going out THK, OGX had a better run on attack. Now, it looks like OGX is struggling compared to THK. What are you thinking, Donut?
I think it's the response of the hero KDA
Sorry, Donut, I
with.
can't really hear you.
Yeah, I think it was the response of Hannah when it comes to her using the Odin. All of her utilities is just so promising each and every round. Every time she throws in a recon bolt, either at least a minimum of one is detected by it. But also, I think it's their rotations and their quick responses to how the team of OGX are playing their attack. I guess they are playing a bit predictable, or it's just that Hannah just has her spider sense up and running when it comes to the calls. And the combination of the utility with the KO, imagine just being suppressed by that blade, and at the same time the recon bolts just really seals the deal for them. Now that's just given them the quicker decision and the right one for each and every round.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you there. I think Hannah win that Odin has been very, very, very huge. A big impact, not only in just chipping out that first damage before OGX is even able to get into sight, but also her control of the recoil is phenomenal. Because you saw how she played from the corner of either logs or even Haven window, that you can see that she is just completely spraying it out. It's really hard to counter when you have a gun that's already, in the midst of already firing. Because the only biggest problem of Odin is that first contact. When you have someone who's already so good at spraying as well as controlling the sprays, it can be very, very, I would say, stressful for the team to even try and answer. But now, before we go back here, I just really want to say that I'm really excited to see the battle of the two killjoys here. Let's talk about Eruma as well as RKNY. I think both of them have been doing a phenomenal job out lurking each other. Let's see if this will continue back in the second half. So take it away, Zach, as well as Taro. Say hi to little bro for me.
Little bro says, hi back, Tash. Thank you so much for that breakdown. Now we're going to be heading into the last half of the first series for the day. THK, they have a little bit of an overwhelming lead here, especially if they can lock down that second pistol on the map. As for Orangutan, it's been a little bit of a slow start for them. Sure, you did see signs of life coming out of Twirly in those last couple of rounds, but now on this pistol, on defense, it's going to be a lot of heavy lifting that Iruma's got to do alone on that B side with everybody else pushing in.
I mean, this time OGX, are they gonna pull out the Odin? Are they gonna pull out also that operator? You just never know, depending on that economy. But anyway, here we go as the pistol round commences. Again, THK goes for that quick take. They take a side completely, plants the spike, but this is a plan for OGX. It's a 5-man retake coming in soon.
Yeah, they just left the side. It was the same strategy that we saw coming out of THK. They were like, yeah, we'll play aggressively towards mid. We have a Killjoy on B. Let's just go for a retake setup on A. And they already find a first, second blood to boot as well. Chloe with 3 already. Twirly with 2 as well. We were talking about how these duelists have to show up, and they're like, we got you, Zach. It's just the first round of the half. And Chloe finds 3, Twirly finds 2. And they just shatter that crossfire setup for THK on this pistol.
Chloe, Chloe is like a McDonald's branch. She just pops out of nowhere everywhere. Like at some point you blink and then suddenly there's a Reina looking and staring down at you, ready to get that headshot in. That's Chloe, ladies and gents. That was a phenomenal pistol round coming in from her, completely obliterating here the side of THK. Again, OGX, they have the advantage here, Zach. 8-4 in a halftime is not too bad of a score, especially if you can take the pistol round like OGX did, but it would gauge up on this second round where it's gonna be their buy round again.
Yeah, Anti-Eco coming in fresh and spicy. Despite getting the plant, it's not going to be much of investments apart from that Sheriff and that Ghost I see on Snow here in this particular round. And OG this time around, they're running a player onto site, Swirly playing behind the boxes here. Just caught out the first player, but Casper's there for the backup. It's just gonna be these two players fighting with Lulu does find one on the Sheriff. Swirly desperately fighting to stay alive, still being able to frag out though, and will be able to find once again 3 kills on the round, 8-6. And Orangutan, they only lose Casper in the process. So all things considered, a very, very successful activity.
Very, very much so. And again, looking at OGX right now, especially in an 8-6 fashion, not much people died off from that round as well. They have the guns still. They still have an Aris even. And one, you've seen Casper hit her shots a while ago from those two maps and the Sheriff as well. So not too bad for OGX, and especially right now, THK, it's more of an important round for them because it's a full buy round right now. And if they lose this, there's not going to be enough money quite easily. OGX can come back in a few, but THK, they have the advantage right now. If they can just pull off through and steamroll that momentum they got from the first half, can be a big chance.
Here.
Something that they can really, if they can pull it off, it's going to be what they need to jump back into this game with both eyes open here.
Is that an
Once
iron
again,
body?
I mean, they have every single buddy, so
Okay.
I would totally rock the iron buddy as well. I'm pretty sure Snowkey is like at least radiant the way she plays some days. But apart from very cute gun buddies, it is gonna be the Killjoy utility on the site completely shut down off the back of that 0 point, so no chip damage gonna be really available. The Japeeps does have a couple of shock dart lineups here. The A side once again being taken by the side of THK for free. Lulu though caught out, and Aruma on the lid, finding 2 before being shut down. That is just so much damage here. Already this retake for Orangutan going very, very well. Spike not even planted yet. RKNY though doing her best to bring things back along with Ash. And it is going to be a 2-for-2, however. Chloe with the Spectre in that close range just mows them down. Orangutan, they win a round they have absolutely no business winning. You just do not want to take those fights.
Especially the confidence from her, you know, that she knows that after this kill, I can overheal. Nonetheless, even if it's Arena and you don't get the kill anyway, you did the damage, you still get an orb, right? So she is very comfortable in that position to really be on the front lines, take the kills, dismiss away, or maybe even take more before dismissing. And again, that confidence you cannot take away from Arena right now. It can be scary here, Zach. 8-7 is the scoreline. Like I said, that was the buy round of THK. And if they lost that, obviously, they're going to be stuck right now in this position where they get only Stingers. They only get some Sheriffs on their hands as well. But you never know. Maybe a counter Thrifty?
Maybe. We've seen quite a few Thrifties today now that I think about it from both of these teams. Now though, I see Twirly has already managed to get her hands on that operator, just misses the shot on Hannah. It's like a warning shot, like, don't come here, please don't come here. If you want to keep your life, I would suggest you avoid it. RKNY has taken up a little bit of advanced positioning in the meantime, triggering the recon from Japeeps to kind of smoke out this mid presence. Nobody really playing there. Japeeps instead is going to be choosing to play towards this back of B side instead. Does get caught by that 0 point, so they know there's going to be at least one player on the site. However, talking about plays here, Twirly with the Blade Storm popped is just looking for a couple of frags. RKNY will be able to find that kill on the lurk. Ash finds one with the Sheriff as well, and suddenly the number advantage, it is completely neutralized. Spike, I think they have time to go to A if necessary. However, they're deciding to just go towards B instead. They have the operator in their hands. Hannah finding a huge kill with the help of the Stinger. It's all down to Aruma to deny this. Finds the first onto Ash. Gets the second as well onto Hannah. The third kill, Aruma, the unstoppable player in the back of sight here. Equalizes OG 8-8, and get a replay, please. Production.
My God. I was just gonna dive into the spray control the two Stingers has right now. You have to give it to them. Chloe was moving away quite fast, jumping around through city, and still in the end, the control on the spray, especially on a Stinger, is quite phenomenal. They were able to pull up some kills here in the hands of OGX. completely obliterating 3 of them players. But to think about it, THK, that was just a half buy, you know? It was 3 people on the sheriffs as well. They still found value on that round. And here comes a timeout coming in from the hero KDA. The timeouts we've seen from a while ago, they were able to convert it after those rounds. And maybe this is their reset time, you know, a little holdback. We talk about what's gonna happen, especially economy wise. It's a little bit harder in the hands of THK. So the cleaner the rounds get, especially for OGX understanding this kind of scenario, this kinds of setup, it's a little scary. We're still halfway there, 8-8.
I think that timeout will be much of a needed reset for the side of the hero KDA. They are a little bit, they don't have the momentum anymore. Remember, at some point, this was 2-7. Orangutan were definitely down in the red, but now they're coming back in style. Again, the operator is going to be that menace that you really don't want to go towards. And the 0 point also gets the information that there's 3 towards A main. Immediately, you can see THK being like, yay, guys, the B side, it's free. And it is. There's only like 2 turn and a couple of children that's available. Sophie going for the dash into sight. Hannah taking so much damage. Oh my god. Oh god.
That's gonna be the final blow, the shock dart from the peeps, as they call it, the geometry itself. 4v5 situation. Spike not yet planted here. For the time being, THK, they would go for that lockdown. I'm not quite sure if OGX would respect this or fight for it, but it seems like it's gonna be a respect towards that. And they would rather go for that 5-man retake setup, especially they have the op here.
Yeah, no ultimates for them to really work with. It's gonna come down to these angels here. Ash though already being able to find the first one. The Casper tries to go for the knife, but it's just gonna be too much time being bought by these players. Chloe at least able to find one here, but no dismiss available. And just like that, that extra time that the lockdown bought THK, it finally let them get into those crossfire positions that you want ideally hold in a post plan. So for Orangutan, they've been fighting them inch for inch, not giving up any free space at all, but that lockdown, it changed things in that round.
Yeah, they wanted to go in for the rush. They wanted to retake the site immediately, especially after the kill towards Hannah, just completely connecting the nano swarm. She took all the damage. At this point, you can call her the tank of the team because all those utilities being thrown at her, she caught it all for the time being. And THK, again, you saw how Snowkey entered rather. She sees the alarm bot, she doesn't mind. As soon as that pops as well, she would just clear on the site and just let the entire team follow up, especially Hannah is giving them intel anyway. 9-8 is what we have here, Zach. It's 2 teams rallying up like volleyball against the points that we have. We started, what, 8-4 for this second half?
Yeah, we did. It's still going to be the comebacks though coming in, and very, very commendable coming out of the side of THK. They didn't lose 4 rounds in a row, but they took that time out. They were able to kind of reset, and now Orangutan, they're trying to do the same thing. They're 1 off of that lockdown for Iruma. We might be seeing that coming into play on this particular round, but Hannah also has that Hunter's Fury almost, just 1 off of that particular ult herself. So if that spike goes down, and she's playing somewhere far away, that is going to be a Phantom Isle that they can get for free. Now though, it's going to be an A-site execute. 3 players for the crossfire here. Oh, Chloe and Twirly and Casper, all of them just mowing down. They're not even able to do any damage apart from some chips onto Casper here. Just like that, in about 5 seconds, it's just left to RK and Y. Does find 2 kills already. 1v3. Might gonna be dropped on the site though, and it's just gonna be a little bit too much for her to deal with. Orangutan, they equalize 9-9 and keep their economy.
It's the first time, I mean, you see a 2x2 crossfire setup. This is exactly it, Zach. Like 2 players, left side, 2 players on the right. You clear out, yeah, RKNY was able to take on the kills on the right side here, but you're in a main. It's a very, very strong choke point, especially if the spike has been dropped on the site itself. Very difficult to make a take happen here, unless some miracle happen as well. 9-9 OGX, adjusting again and again with how THK is playing here. So far, it just gets faster and faster each and every round we're looking at, knowing as well that OGX can play around the info quite well.
Now it's gonna be a half fight coming in for THK. Snowkey does have that Blaze Storm. We've seen her do some real damage with this particular ult, so it's gonna be a lot of pressure on her shoulders to be able to find that entry frag possibly. Still though, it's gonna be 2 players on the site. A really nice recon from Japeeps will catch out Snowkey. They know where she is. They know that she has the blades here. This is going to be going into sight here. Japeeps and Aruma, though, still able to shut her down. And the remaining players, they still have to make their way onto sight. Aruma caught by the 0 point with a precise angle, though. Gets that final shot as well with the swing. And unfortunately for Ash, not even be able to get that kill on the Japeeps here. Another flawless for Orangutan comes in. And they finally seem to have found their footing on this map.
Aruma here, especially whenever she's on the defense as well. We've seen this during Split when she was also using a Cypher here. At that point in this round, she was willing to take on the knife. Like, yeah, I get detected, the traps is off, but can you actually answer the raw firepower I can bring to the table? Apparently not. OGX closes things off to a 10-9 scoreline. Good hold yet again coming in from the team members here. The crossfires just working out greatly in their favors. Now they have a lockdown as well. Can play for the retake scenario. And Chloe with the Empress up and online. A clutch situation can happen. You just never know.
Now, though, it's going to be a little bit more of a slow play coming out of THK. They've tried that fast rush and they've just been falling apart, honestly. Now, Snowkey, going to be the distraction. Oh my god, she doesn't check the corner. Might even be a knife coming in at this rate. Never mind, not going to be happening. It's just going to be Arcane holding down the fort. And Orangutan, they're not biting here. They have gotten the information that there is heavy mid pressure. But aside from that, not much else. Again, pressure across the map coming in, but there's still gonna be these 3 players towards the base side, and poor Ash is not ready for Twirly to just swing into her like that. Once again, Orangutan, they find that first blood.
Even trying for the double swing, but not much needed, honestly, as Twirly shuts her away. And now Snowkey going sneaky towards trees here. Japeep saw them, though. Aruma, on the other hand, again, holding down the fort here for the rest of OGX. And the last remaining player to go down as well. Orangutan X here, Zach. So far, the more rounds we're looking at on the defense, the more it's harder for THK to take.
Yeah, I think that Tash brought this up on the panel, and it was gonna come down to how well Aruma can really play that anchor well. She can play it pretty damn well, that's what I gotta say. On B side, it's Timmy the Turret and her utility. Absolutely massacring players. Between her and Japeeps, there's just no way they're getting into that site or mid. And towards A, like, don't even talk about A site. You have Casper, Chloe, and Twirly, the Holy Trinity, just shutting things down. And now THK, they're gonna be on an eco here. 5 sheriffs across the board, so I wouldn't count them out quite yet. They've hit some nasty shots in the past, but the pressure is mounting up. At one point, they were up 7-2, and now they're lagging 2 rounds behind. In fact, only 2 rounds away from being eliminated from Open 2, so they gotta be really careful.
Entry is already there. The Jet is waiting patiently behind the smoke. Twirly already with a kill, and Chloe knows exactly when the timing will be right to hop out. RKNY, the only player yet again remaining for the team. We've seen her clutch time and time again, but can she do it with the Sheriff, half HP, and 4 people swinging her out? That's gonna be it as OGX closes the match point. 9-12 is the score.
Match point.
They look so much more comfortable on defense. Like, how do you play against them? They're constantly putting up pressure towards A main, so you can't really have a lurk player because Ash got caught out of guard a couple of times. They can't get into B because it's just gonna be Japeeps and Aruma chipping away with utility. You saw those shock darts kill and molly damages coming in. Now Orangutan, they have the lockdown as well as the Blade Storm once again in their arsenal. However, this is a round where the hero KDA have to step it up. They have the rifles, they have the lockdown on Hunter's Fury. If they can find a couple of initial frags in the beginning to be able to set them up for the rest of the game, they might be able to make a comeback. They're only 3 away from overtime. And I know 3 rounds, it is a small number, but it's a very daunting amount when you're faced with 1 round away from elimination.
One pre-fire, someone dies. Exactly what will happen right now as the players of KDA swings out. That's gonna be the retaliation coming in from Casper, hitting those 2 shots. 2-2 trade, not too bad.
That's just nasty shots coming out of Casper. Really beautiful and pristine work coming out of her. That's gonna set her team up for an advantageous situation in this retake. Now it's gonna be that lockdown popped by the attacker Killjoy. Twirly dashes into site, able to find the first. However, it's gonna be too much for her to deal with in that 1v3. Make that a 1v2. Now THK only 2 rounds away from closing the gap, but it was a very expensive round for them. They spent not just the lockdown, they also lost 3 players, so their economy is still in a very rough spot.
Yeah, very rough spot ever for the time being for THK for how many rounds already? 3 to 4. If I would say in the entire second half, they've been just rallying upon on an eco disadvantage, going up again with the Vandal play. And then obviously that would take a toll for the momentum of the team as OGX tries to close it off yet again. They have the operator in the hands of Twirly already. The timing so far, especially for OGX, when they hop out, when they fight, it's just perfect, to say the least. THK cannot even try to plant a spike any longer because of the raw fire aim power duel that they're looking at in the site itself.
Just a bit too much for them to contend with. Now it's going to be a bit of change coming out of OG. No more initial A aggression here. Instead, they're just going to be sort of chilling towards the site itself. Twirly does have that operator, so looking to find an initial pick before falling back here. You do see a Lulu fall, getting those ult orbs into play. One off of that null command. That might be the difference maker here. If they can shut down that ult from Twirly, no more Blaze Storm available, it's going to make it much more difficult for the retake. Beautiful paranoia from Casper though. That's going to buy so much time here. Now Twirly with the Blaze Storm goes for the updraft, finds the kills between Casper and Twirly. This team is looking unstoppable right now. Ash in spawn, off from the shadows, able to find a kill. Lulu as well. Huge impact frag out of there. Casper finally shuts her down though, and now it's still going to be a 2v2 scenario. Make that a 1v2. Casper, no res available. Hog between 2 players. Does have the spike in her possession at the very least, but the flank is too much. The whiff! The whiff! Casper in a 1v1! No way, Casper! Oh my god, she almost does it, but Hannah with 30 HP will clutch it up. You do not wish whiff against Casper. Oh my god, I had a heart attack.
You don't have a co-caster anymore. Sorry, Terror is already out. That round itself, man. Casper was supposed to be dead at that point. And if that was the final round for THK round, it would have been, yeah, how can I explain, you know, like it would have hurt a lot for THK. In the end, Hannah saves the day here. We go one more, or do we go home? That's the question. Or are we going to overtime? Who knows? 12-11 is the scoreline right now. Pressure is on. OGX, they have a lockdown to play around here from the shadows as well as the util. But THK, they don't really have any ultimates in their favor.
The one nice thing for THK is that they no longer have to worry about that operator because they know that Orangutan, they're out of money to put another one online. But to be fair, Twirly on a rifle is still terrifying as Twirly on an operator, but at least they can be a little bit more chill. Talking about chill though, it's going to be Twirly taking up that aggressive positioning towards mid, finding a huge kill off the back of that. That's going to mean no more smokes for the rest of the round for THK. Snowkey looking to get aggressive, does get spotted out, walks into Ruma's crosshairs, and now that's a 2-player advantage that Orangutan have. Twirly swinging out as well. 3 kills on the round already. It's all down to RKNY. The new player has been so phenomenal over the course of this, but it's too much for her to deal with. Japip seals the deal in Orangutan. They move on in the slower bracket. 13-11 once again, but this time it's gonna be them the victors.
The smile on their faces, you just get a discount. Going from an 8-4, Zach, in favor of THK. We managed to put it into an almost overtime even. Props to the side of THK here, but in the end, one should be victorious, and that is OGX. Though, Twirly, I have to revoke the Filipino card. The knife didn't hit, so I'm very sorry for that. No tondo for today. I have to revoke the Philippine passport just for today. Maybe tomorrow we see it again. But anyway, kidding aside, congratulations, Orangutan X. I mean, it was a very long match we looked at here. 3 maps that we had, but in the end, It's just nice to see beautiful Valorant here on the stage. Heading into our panel though to finally close off game number 1 here. We still have another series to go. Zach and Taylor as your casters. Tash and Donut, how is it going in the panel?
Oh, it's going great. Lots of heart attacks going on here for that match. Thank you very much to our fellow casters, Tay and Zach. Now, coming into that match, we have a lot to break down. It looked like in the first half, THK had everything in the bag. In fact, they were 4 rounds ahead of OGX. Now, we saw 5 rounds in a row taken away by Orangutan X until finally THK was able to take it back. What do you think happened, Donut?
I think statistically speaking, when it comes to the strong start of THK, they usually just lose their grip whenever it's pulled away from them. And I think Orangutan X, what they did so well during that time is just really play together. Those crossfires against THK, they had nothing against this specific team. And looking at how they played, right, Twirly at first during the first half, she was getting the kills, but not enough kills, like 26 and 17 KDA. Her combat score just really took off during the second half, during the defense. She was so aggressive and she was uncontainable. Even Olulu, as a KO, could not suppress how much power Twirly did show during the second half.
I think what's great about Twirly in the second half was more about momentum, taking it away from THK. And on top of that, I felt like she was very, very enabled by Japips, who was very, very eager or very, very good at providing her enough information that she needed to move around. On top of that, with Chloe's blind as well as Casper's, smokes, she's been able to get these phenomenal picks by either updrafting above these smokes or finding these nasty angles or just playing inside the smoke and just pushing out itself. It seemed like, there was a lot of, I would say, changes in the defense side for Orangutan X, where in one round it was a 1-4, which is having Eruma on B side and then all 4 on A. And the next round we had Eruma as well as Japips on one side and the other 3 on the other. Their lurks have also been very interesting in my opinion, because they would send maybe Twirly over coming in toward market, and then the other 2, which is Chloe and Casper, coming in toward main. So what do you think about these changes coming through in all the defense sides for Orangutan X, and why is this happening?
I think the adjustments were made to just really provide and empower Twirly here, who is our MVP for this specific map. Because when it comes down to the information, yes, I mean, Japips can actively just send over the drone, the recon bolt, but information isn't enough. It's about the conversion of that kill, which really mattered the most for OGX, and Chloe and Twirly did so well playing together and really balancing out the map. If there would be a Ruma on one side of the map, she would just be at a standstill in that specific map, and the rest are doing the work for her. But of course, when the pressure is high for her, she does deliver multi-kills for the team. So I guess it really just tipped in favor of OGX during the half. Statistically speaking, we thought that the offense or the attacking rounds would just be in favor of Orangutan, but it wasn't the case.
Yeah, for now, we're going to be seeing another match later. Congratulations to Orangutan X for taking this one. Team SMG will be meeting up with Full Sense Sapphire. This is one of the most highlighted matches to watch. Don't go anywhere, because more Valorant coming right after this.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Turret destroyed. Who? One enemy remains standing.
Auf Wiedersehen. My ultimate is ready. Pow!
B. One enemy remaining.
There you are. Headshot. 3.
One enemy remaining. Spike plant. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
Who could have predicted?
Spike down A.
Good.
One enemy. Spike down A. One enemy remaining. 30 seconds.
last night. Now you're lying in my bed. Must have been a dream last night, but I can hear what you're saying. You were shot to death last night. Where's my cup of coffee? I was dreaming something bad last night.